and welcome back, everyone. God, I'm dying. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition of the OSC King of the Hill, weekly number 180. That's a lot of weeks, Poppy. That's a lot of weeks of StarCraft. Welcome back to your weekly dose of King of the Hill StarCraft. I'm, of course, your Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by my plushies and these amazing players. Welcome to a very, very long night of StarCraft here. We have 15 players back to back to back. We're going to be duking it out to find out who is the King of the Hill. Who will be reigning supreme on top of that hill, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Dynasty. We have our Ukrainian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Astronaut Esports. It is NightPhoenix. I almost said meow. I had to stop myself. God damn it. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, the reigning King of the Hill, representing himself, currently teamless. It is Krystianer. Let us go. Whew. And again, welcome everyone, welcome in the chat. Hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Hope you're all getting ready for the week to come for Esports World Cup. EWC does begin tomorrow. In less than 24 hours, we have the best of the best duking it out in the Esports World Cup. But before that does occur, as we are going to be getting a bit of a pause here, but before we do get the EWC, we have plenty more StarCraft ahead of us. We have OSC King of the Hill, we have Code for Giants Cup, we have StarCraft. Beautiful. Beautiful, Bobby, beautiful. So we're just going to be jumping into our first game. For those that are curious as to the formats of this event, these are purely best of ones. Oh, I should also fix up the out of game races. There we go. These are purely best of ones. It's going to be a best of one between these two players. The winner stays on, the loser is eliminated, and then another will rise to take the loser's place. And we're going to go back and forth for 15 best of ones. And oh, oh my god. All right, we're good to go. Sorry, I was just panicking a little bit. Panicking a little bit, but here we go. Our players are back, our players are ready, and we are jumping back into our game. And if you're in the chat, oh, I should very quickly set this up. Predictions. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take this best of one. The predictions may even end before the game finishes. It's a best of one format, of course, so these matches can be very fast, very quick. Oh boy. Let's jump in. Also, I should set up the UI. I'd be wondering, who is Meow? What's going on? They're a cat? Yes. they are a cat girl. Can confirm. One moment. There we go, to make sure there is no confusion. Have our initial PvP, our first of many here tonight. Again, when it comes to these online tournaments, when it comes to events like OSC, when it comes to our own tournaments as well, even ESL Open Cups, PvPs are the go-to. We do have a sea of Protoss ahead of us, and we'll see if we can embrace a little bit of the other races. A little bit of Zerg, a little bit of Terran here and there. I'm hoping we can get to that point at some point here tonight. But now, we have our PvP. But now we're settling in. Again, we have a 2-gate opener out of Krystianer. Meanwhile, likewise, 2-gate opener out of NightPhoenix. We're going to be settling into our first game. Loading into Dynasty. Dynasty is an interesting one because we do have a pocket gold base that we can take advantage of. But for now, we're going to be expanding at the more natural location. We have our natural base here from Krystianer. Meanwhile, NightPhoenix will delay the expansion in favor of a Twilight Council. Okay, so faster tech, faster upgrades here for NightPhoenix. And we are sending out a lot across the map. The Stalkers and the Probe. And it looks like NightPhoenix is setting up for a one base all in. I was joking a little bit before when I was like, oh, yo, the predictions may close by the time the game ends. It's possible. I think the predictions did just close down. But here we go. The Probe is being sent out. The Pylon is being prepared as well. More Stalkers being sent across the map. And NightPhoenix is doubling down. We're going to be doubling down. Hallucination Scout is going to be coming into the main. We do confirm the Twilight Council. We get eyes on the third gateway. We get eyes on the lack of expansion. And now Krystianer knows shield batteries. we need shield batteries as soon as possible. We need defensive immortals as well. For now, sentries are under fire. We're going for the shield battery. And shield battery is going to be targeted down. Another Stalker is coming down from the high ground, and the shield battery will fall. That means no overcharge. We do catch a Stalker. We get another. Very nice force fields. Yeah, the force fields will lock down the Stalkers, and we will trade a 2-for-1. As reinforcements pop out, NightPhoenix has to back off, and we have a proxy 4th gate across the map. It's 3 gates back at home, and it's 1 gate across the map. 4 gates in total, so a 1 base, 4 gate blink all-in out of NightPhoenix. Meanwhile, Krystianer is still building up, and thankfully, the Robo is done. Robo is done. Immortals are on the way. The Immortals are going to be the backbone of Krystianer's army. They're going to be the saving grace here to make up for the lack of Stalkers. Ooh, as we catch another Stalker. A very nice force field. And NightPhoenix has been bleeding out a little bit too much. That's 3 Stalkers going down already. 3 Stalkers already falling. Now, what's important about Blink, especially on this map, sure, we can threaten the natural, but because of this location here, we don't even need high ground vision, and we can blink right into the main, right past the defensive line of shield batteries and Immortals. So NightPhoenix will have more maneuverability available and can opt to try to bypass that front door. Speaking of, we have a shield battery in the main. Thankfully, Krystianer, he's aware of how vulnerable he is. We do have a backup shield battery in the main base. We do see NightPhoenix backing off for a moment here. Likewise, Krystianer does have a probe to scout. Very important. And oh, he's trying to get a read on what's going on. Trying to make sure he responds in time, and then we blink in. We blink into the main base, and Krystianer, he will rotate around just in time. The shield battery is ready. Shield battery is going to be targeted down, but it's going to cost us one of those Stalkers. Ooh, almost another. Krystianer forces back the main army. Shield battery is being replaced. Oh, even catching more of these Stalkers in the retreat. Krystianer shutting this down. Yeah, we're now up to 3 Immortals, and we are hitting critical mass. That's a lot of Immortals. And the downside here of going for this kind of style and going for this route, I mean, sure, you can bypass, you don't need high ground vision, but it takes so long to actually get into the main base, and we're giving Krystianer a lot of time. Here we go, we do depower the Robo. We can focus it down. Up, the Robo. The Robo is going to go down. We only have 3 Immortals, but that may still be enough. Oh my god. We're not going to get a 4th Immortal, but 3 Immortals still packs a massive punch. And Krystianer, he does force NightPhoenix back. You see NightPhoenix trying to split up his army, trying to hit both locations at once. Krystianer likewise pulling back. It does get in position in time. Robo is being rebuilt. Stalkers come back in once again, going for the pylon this time. And the gateways will be depowered. Blink to the low ground. Ooh, we don't quite have enough to one-shot. You can 2-shot Stalkers. Leading out another Stalker. And as time goes on, Krystianer has a better economy. As time goes on, it's getting better and better for Krystianer. NightPhoenix is running out of steam here. Once again, blinking into the main. If we can get into the mineral line, if we can focus on some probes, then we can try to tie this up and even things out. Blinking in. And, oh, we don't quite line up the shots, and we will get maybe one. Oh, not even. Not even. Yeah, not a single worker goes out at the same time we hit the natural, and Krystianer is being pulled apart a little bit. Shield battery does fall. Shield battery does fall, and finally some probes are going down in the natural. Finally, some economic damage. We get 8 probe kills, but Krystianer still has the worker lead, and we punish NightPhoenix so hard. And more Stalkers do fall. And I'm afraid to look, we've lost 24 Stalkers. Oh my god, throughout the course of this game. Krystianer has been all over this. And that's going to be shading into the main. But the wall is not up. We do get in. I'd have to say shade into the main base, so thread in the shade at least. Likewise, Stalkers blinking into the natural, or into the gold. And NightPhoenix is attempting to expand. I mean, it makes sense. At this point, we've lost far too much, and we cannot kill Krystianer. But can we buy time? Can we settle into a 2-base economy? For now, nice backstab here. The Stalkers are getting a lot of damage dealt. 5 probes go down, Stalkers will evacuate, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Behind the Slaves are on the way. NightPhoenix getting ready for the 2-base play. Getting ready for a 2-base all-in. Now, the scary thing here is eventually Krystianer's going to move out. And when he does, that is 5 Immortals. Like, that's an insane Immortal count here in this kind of game state. So Krystianer, he can soon A-move. Now, what I will say, though, as Krystianer can move out across the map, he would be vulnerable, and NightPhoenix could try to go for a base trade. We could try to leave some Stalkers out on the map. As Krystianer moves out, we can go for a backstab, we can go into the main base, and if not force a base trade, maybe just force Krystianer back home and just delay the push. Delay the push for as long as possible, and allow the goal base to get up and running. The goal base is just now finishing, it needs a lot of time to really get going. Krystianer does move out, And here come those Stalkers. They got a lot of work to do, and it looks like Krystianer, we're waiting a little bit too long to pull the trigger here from NightPhoenix. Alas, the Stalkers are still lying in wait, and the army has arrived. It's too late for these Stalkers. Now they're going in, but the army's already across the map. If it was halfway across the map, then maybe we could force Krystianer to turn around, but at this point, we have reinforcements. Sure, we're getting some probe kills, but at the same time, we are knocking down the gold. Oh, the Prism! Oh! Not quite. The Prism will stand strong. GG gets called, and Krystianer will take game number 1. Whew. And maintain his crown on top of the hill. GG. GG, well played. Krystianer does take the first game of the night. As a reminder, it is a best of 1, and NightPhoenix may go down now, but it's possible that we could see a revive later on. You know, if we run out of players, and a lot of players are traveling, we might bring NightPhoenix back on later on in the evening. But for now, NightPhoenix is going to be bowing out, and Krystianer claims that throw. GG. GG, well played. Krystianer will take the lead here, and the question becomes, who's up next? Who is up next? We have 15 best of 1s back to back to back to back lined up here for us. And I'm sure a multitude of players ready to jump in as well. Oh boy. Now, something that I should recognize as well, of course, is that the Esports World Cup is tomorrow, and a lot of players are traveling. So some of the top-tier players that we otherwise would see here in OSC King the Hill most likely won't be available. I'm referring to players like Max. Well, actually, Max would be available. He's not traveling. True. he could show up. But Spirit is going to be traveling, and some of the other top-tier players as well. I do think Spirit is, I think, the most notable from the OSC regulars, outside of some of the Koreans like Bjorn and Solar. True, they're also going to be traveling, so we most likely won't see them, but we could see plenty of others. Definitely could, so we'll keep an eye on the in-game chat channel. We'll see who comes up next. Here we go. So we are catching up. Oh, and we have our next opponent. Okay, it's going to be another PvP. Should not be a surprise here, but it is going to be a PvP between Krystianer and Azura, the Italian Protoss player. Do we just need a moment to set things up? Do we need a moment here? Bam. There we go. It looks like our players need a moment to settle in, and we're more than happy to give it to them. Just catching up in the chat. What's Meow's real name? NightPhoenix. NightPhoenix is a cat girl. Shaking my head. But a lot of Psycons in the chat. Hello, I see Kuro, I see Paul, Easy Phil as well. Welcome, welcome. I see Hatsu. Bienvenidos, Hatsu. Alex, welcome, welcome. Hope you've all been having a great time. And I hope you're all ready for the week to come as well. Like, EWC is going to be a full week of StarCraft. A lot of content, a lot of matches condensed into a very short time period. It's going to be pretty intense to try to keep up with all of it. But we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Oh boy. As we're jumping into our next game, and if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take this best of 1. Is spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Italian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, looking for a team. It is Krystianer. For those that are maybe unaware, Krystianer was on Starlight Twinkle for a season of WTL, the most recent season, but the World Team League round robin stage has concluded, and with the conclusion of the round robin stage, Starlight Twinkle did not make it into the playoffs, and Krystianer is now looking for another team, and honestly well deserving to be on a team as well. Krystianer has been improving a lot over the past year, and I would say he is solidly at least top 4 Protoss in Europe. just behind Max Pack, Showtime, and Skillus. I would kind of rate Krystianer and slot him in that position. He's been getting better and better results over the past year and has been improving so much. It's been quite impressive to see his growth as a player. I mean, a lot of players have been growing, especially in this online tournament setting. Not just Krystianer. We've had players like Nicoract, Shameless as well. A lot of these players have been rising the ranks. But Krystianer has had a lot more success as of late. So hopefully he does find a home. Also, upon saying the name, I just remembered that as well. I believe... let me just double check, actually. Momento. I was gonna go over like the list of players that are traveling to Esports World Cup, but it's a long list. it's a long list, man. It's a long list. But now we'll calm down. We'll calm down, we'll settle in. It's going to be a 2-gate opener all around. We do have double Adept out of Krystianer, and we have a Central... Oh, we're going for an economic opener. Oh my god! Azura, calm down. It's going to be a gate expand out of Azura. This is going to be with a second gas, guys, as we can throw down the Stargate, but that is a Nexus before the tech. A very greedy build here out of Azura, and he's asking to be all in. Krystianer, though, is not going for it. Stargate opener. Okay. Oh, also my apologies. I will... There we go. I will fix up the nameplate. I do apologize. Nameplate is fixed. Again, Krystianer versus Azura. And as we are settling into this, what I was about to say is that Krystianer, upon scouting this, can respond with the 1-base all-in, but as we can see, it is going to be a Stargate opener. This is designed to get economic damage. It means that Krystianer is expanding, as we can see here, is going for the expansion, is going for the natural, but his goal is to get some worker kills to make up for that. His base is going to be later, so Krystianer is behind in the economy, at least until the Adepts kick in, and the Oracles as well. So it's going to be on the Adepts and Oracles to get some economic damage and to wreak havoc across the map. Hallucination Scout comes in, and Azura will confirm. Very nice scout here from our Italian Protoss. Does confirm the build, does confirm the aggression. And Azura should be getting ready for the Oracle. Likewise, Adepts a shade in, but we have a shield battery. Oh, yeah, an ill-advised shade from Krystianer. 1 Adept goes down, 2 Adepts go down. Can we get a 3rd? Oh, we might. Oh my god. that was a rhetorical question. I didn't think it would be, but there we go. 3 Adepts fall, big damage, and that means we're down to 1 Adept. And what does that mean? That means we cannot one-shot workers. Cannot one-shot units. As the Oracle does get some damage done, likewise Adept shades into the main. And Adept does shade in. We got 6 probes in total, not 7 probes. Oh my god, not bad. Considering that we lost 3 Adepts, for 1 Adept we get 7 probes. Very nice damage. Krystianer turning water into wine here, and we're not done. Here comes a second Oracle. And we have no shield battery in the main base. A little bit greedy here from Azura. That means another probe is going to go down. Another 2 probes. Another 3 even, but oh, we do scratch a little bit too long. We're going to be sacrificing the Oracle. 12 probe kills. And just like that, Krystianer takes a worker lead. It's coming in once again with the other Oracle. Okay, this time we don't commit. This time we calm down. Overlay is right. Yeah, we fixed it. It's all good. We're on that time. We're on. Ooh. As we do get a probe kill here at the 3rd base location, delaying the would-be 3rd. Meanwhile, Azura moving out. And we do have quite a hefty army. Bearing in mind that Krystianer lost all those Adepts, that means that does eat into his overall gateway army supply. Reinforcing with more Stalkers. Immortal production has begun for Krystianer. But here comes the move out from Azura. He is not expanding, not yet. Oracle hits the natural. Does distract Azura. Azura pulling away. Doesn't like what he sees. The Immortal does pop out just in time. And with the help of the Immortal, we should be okay. We should be able to hold. Say that the army does reveal itself. Immortal getting in position. Nice force fields. The Immortal's locked out. Here we look at the Immortal, but alas, we overwhelm the army, pump the overcharge, and we force a recall. Those are some beautiful force fields out of Azura, but it was not enough. They'll be the overcharge with the Phoenix. We shut down the push. Across the map, still no 3rd base. Krystianer does confirm. Delaying the 3rd once again, and he takes his own. Krystianer will expand, Azura falling back on Glaive Adept, so it's going to be Immortal Glaive Adept. This has been a very popular unit composition here amongst the Protoss scene in general. It's amongst the meta. Immortals and Glaives. Again, it's a very aggressive style, not really designed to get into a much longer game. And here comes that Gateway Explosion. And we're going to be doubling down with Mass Glaive Adept and Immortals. Meanwhile, Krystianer, he's a little bit behind when it comes to tech. The Twilight Council is still on the way, the Forge is still on the way, so we're working towards eventually Blink or Charge or Glaives of our own. Krystianer is still working towards that. As a result, Krystianer's stuck at home. He's stuck at home. He's been harassing with Oracles and Adepts. That is true. Has been harassing, but is going to be stuck at home and contained until he can get his more mobile unit composition up and running. And it is going to be Charge. +1 in Charge from Krystianer. Oracle dips in, confirms the third base. Gets 2 more probes. Not bad. 2 probes do go down. Getting a 3rd probe as well. 3 probe kills in between the bases. And again, we're just trying to keep Azura busy. I say that here comes that War Prism. War Prism's on the way. The gateways are up and running. Glaive's about to finish, and Azura is moving out. Azura, this third base is faked. I don't know if you realize, but we have not taken gases, and we have 0 saturation at the third. Azura has cut workers at 34 workers, and we're going for a massive all-in. And Krystianer's expanding. Uh-oh. Krystianer, he is expanding. Spending money elsewhere. We need an army. And we just don't have it. Not yet. Krystianer is going to be caught with his pants down. The Observer sees all. There's 1 Archon, there's 3 Immortals, there's Nova Charge. But we need more war pins. Nice revelation. We catch the Observer. Oh, but that's a massive army from Azura. And you thought I was macroing. The third base was fake. Overcharge is popped. Azura playing it slow. He does respect the overcharge. He's going to back off. The overcharge buys time. We have more war pins. We have more reinforcements. But we're warping in 6 adepts at a time. And it looks like Azura may have just caught Krystianer off guard. The boys are being pulled into Glaive Adepts of all things. That's how desperate Krystianer is. Likewise, the 4th base does complete, it does finish. And we're breaking through. Azura, he's snowballing out of control, busting through the front lines, getting on top of the Immortals, and getting on top of the Archons. And it looks like Azura just has too much. Again, Krystianer was getting ready for a longer game. It was getting ready for macro, but nah. It was 2 base all in. It was all or nothing, and Krystianer, he may be the reigning king of the hill, but Azura is here to knock him down. Takes out the Immortal, 1 Immortal left, GG gets called, and Azura takes the game 1-0. GG. My god. GG, well played. Azura with the upset, but it's PvP. It is PvP, and as a result, you can catch your opponent off guard. Mirror matchups specifically are very cutthroat. They are very cutthroat and very unforgiving as well. Krystianer, he didn't just take his 3rd, he fully saturated his 3rd base. He took a 4th base as well. Krystianer, the reason why he did this was because he scouted the expansion. He scouted the Nexus, right? He saw it coming ahead of time. He was like, okay, you're macroing. The answer is no. There was no macro. There was 0 saturation at the 3rd base of Azura. It was a fake 3rd base, and he did end up bamboozling Krystianer there. GG. GG, well played. GG, well played. And with that, we have our first of many upsets. And that's what I love about this tournament format. Even though 100% Krystianer was favored, he was the favored player here, it's a best of 1. It's 1 game. Anything can happen. Anything can and will happen. So with that, we are going to be switching servers over to the Americas region, and we're getting ready for our next PvP. Now, that is a bit of a tell. That is a bit of a spoiler in a sense, if you can piece it all together. If we're heading over to the Americas server, means that our opponent is from a different region. Oh boy. And it's going to be one of the heavy favorites. I mean, Krystianer was a heavy favorite. I would stand by that. And now we have another. Oh boy. Here we go. It is going to be a PvP between NightMare and Azura. Let's go. Let us go. Gonna be catching up in the chat. How does one win King of the Hill? Is it one with the most wins that wins? So the way this works, and I mean, shout out to Eddie. Eddie's in the chat. Last man standing at the end of the day is the king. True, true. Last man standing. But likewise, you earn money depending on how many wins you get. So technically, a player that went on like a 6-game win streak will earn more money than a player that is left standing, in a sense. True. But the player that is left standing is invited into the next edition, the next rendition of OSC King of the Hill, which is what Krystianer was able to do. That's why Krystianer was the starting player. As a result, has a high chance to make a deep run and rack up more of that money and more of that cash. So that is how the format does unfold. And best of one, last man standing. It's a beauty contest. Ah, true, true. It's how they win. Likewise, it looks like a new season has begun for OSC. Okay, for those that are curious, we do go through seasons of OSC events, and what that means is the map pool does update over time. The ladder map pool is the same, don't get me wrong, and we do still incorporate them, but we do add some extra maps. For those that are curious, the way that process works and the way that we add extra maps to the map pool of OSC events is, I believe, via voting. OSC Elite players can kind of vote and kind of pick which maps they want to bring into the map pool and which maps they want to showcase and compete in again from seasons gone by. And as a result, the added maps are 2000 Atmospheres, Cosmic Sapphire, and Eternal Empire. Wow, pretty recent maps. They're all from, you know, kind of the EPT era of StarCraft. Eternal Empire, I think that was 2020 or 2021. 2000 Atmospheres was like same era. Cosmic Sapphire, I believe, was the season after Eternal Empires. So they're from a couple of years ago, from like 2020 to 2022 era of StarCraft. But we can feature those maps in this tournament. It's up to our players to pick them. Up to our players. But yeah, it's a nice kind of refreshing way to update the format and update the maps, even if, you know, it hasn't been updated in game. It's a way to liven things up a little bit. And I do miss me some 2000 Atmospheres. I miss it, Pappy. I miss it. Good times. Eternal Empire, I have like a love-hate relationship with. I think some of the longest games that I've casted have been on Eternal Empire. I remember casting many like a 1 to 1.5 hour game on Eternal Empire. Like it was not good. On Eternal Empire and Romanticide, that was the season after. It was the next season's Eternal Empire. Rough times, rough times. But here we go. It looks like we are jumping on in. We have our map of choice, and it is going to be one of the current ladder maps. It's going to be Crimson Court. And you know what that means. If you're in the chat, get your gamba going. And get your gamba going. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this series. On the one hand, NightMare is the favorite player, but so is Krystianer. And Azura popped off. So, again, anything could happen. We have a favorite player, but best of ones, they don't care about your favorite players. And here we go, we're jumping in and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court. We have our blue Terran player from the land of South Korea. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have its opponent. We have the Italian Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura, aka the #1 Zound fan. Of course he is. Shout out to Zound. Zound, a long since retired player, but back in the day was of course on Alpha X, and so was Azura. So keeping the name the same in tribute to Zound. Much love. Do appreciate it. As we are going to be moving out across the map. Oh, of course. And Azura is the current king of the hill. We'll see if he can continue his reign, or if NightMare can strip away that title. For now, 2-gate opener. Oh, A little bit misplaced there, but a 2-gate opener out of NightMare. Meanwhile, Azura once again setting up for a gate expand. We saw this in the previous game, if you remember. We saw a more economic opener out of Azura, which Krystianer was able to successfully punish. Krystianer, he popped off and he got so much damage done with the Adepts and with the Oracles, which led Azura into going for an all-in. And I'm curious how NightMare will approach this. NightMare with the Probe Scout does confirm the Singular Gateway, does confirm the Cyber Core. So NightMare, his goal, his role here is to delay the expansion and potentially go for a 1-base all-in. Oh boy. Do you have the option? Meanwhile, second gas geyser has been taken, so we should be going for a Stargate before expansion. Zealot has arrived. And do we get the pylon down? Without that pylon, we can go for the Nexus. Yeah, we're building up those resources. The probe is going to be forced back, and we can expand. So Nexus before tech. Quite greedy here from Azura. Quite greedy. And of course, Zaun does confirm he gets eyes on the expansion. And for the time being, Zaun is going to be following up with Adepts to harass across the map. But we don't really have a probe out on the map to go for a proxy yet, so we're going to be expanding. Okay. Respond with the expansion. Nexus on the way. Going to be slightly behind the Nexus of... I almost said Zaun. of Azura. So Azura will have an economic advantage, at least for now. Adepts are coming. They are moving out. Their role, of course, their goal is to shade into the main. But so far, Azura does respond, does wall up, and will defend. So far, so good. Azura is holding. Hallucination Scout comes in. Azura does confirm that there's going to be a Twilight Council on the way, this time not a Stargate. We're working towards Blink. Working towards that mid-game. As NightMare does bypass the main army. We don't quite make it in. Azura looking for, hunting down those Adepts. Doesn't quite catch them. It is on the way. Azura is going to pull away. It's going to pull back. Adept's going to be threatening a shade. Oh, and I assumed it was going to be for Blink here, but Azura, likewise, is going to get scouted. Oof. We had the Twilight Council on the way. We have Blink in production now. We had a Dark Shrine from Azura, but we forced a cancel. We got a full scout, and that is the power of the Hallucination. There's a reason why Sentry-based openers are so common in PvP. Hallucinations, they make it so difficult to sneak out any kind of tech like this. And NightMare is just all over Azura. Does force the cancel. Keeping us sort of pinned back. Back at home, just building up towards Blink. We have an extra gateway on the way. Okay, so it's going to be a 3-gate setup, and then we expand. Then we take the third. NightMare taking a more macro approach here. Just calming things down, settling into a longer game. Azura does get eyes on the third. And the question becomes, does Azura go for another 2-base all-in as a response? Just like the previous game. Or do we expand? Oh, I see a Warp Prism. Warp Prism is on the way. Adepts, they shade in! Oh, they shade into the main base. 1 probe goes and we get 2 probes. And can we get 3? Almost. We barely do. We get, oh, actually 4 probes. Oh my god. 4 probes do full. Gateway explosions on the way. We had a choice to make. Either we expand or we throw down gates. We're going for the gateways. Azura is doubling down. Moving out across the map. We have the high ground. NightMare getting caught out, bleeding out one of the sentries. But Blink is not done for Azura. Yeah, we can punish him. We blink on 40, focus on the sentries, a Stalker as well. Ooh. Yeah, brutal losses here for the green Protoss. Azura trying to keep up, but Blink is finally done for both players, but the damage has been dealt. We get another sentry. NightMare has the economic advantage, has the third base getting up and running. Immortals are on the way. More Stalkers as well. Prism is out, but we weren't able to make use of it. Oh no! Oh my god, okay. Jesus. The War Prism does survive. And it's all or nothing. How many gateways do we have? It's going to be 5 gates for Azura. We have 4 from NightMare. But he already has a Stalker advantage. He has the Immortals, has no shield battery. That's a little bit concerning. No shield battery, no overcharge. Here we go. We are going to be committing. Good forces. We lock down 2 of those Stalkers, 3 of those Stalkers. The Stalkers are punished, and Azura doesn't have anything else at home to really fall back on. There is no third base. We have to keep going. The Observer does confirm everything. Does spot the rotation. NightMare going for a backstab. He wants that Prism. Uh-oh. He does want that War Prism. We dive on the Immortal. The Immortal goes down. Again, no shield battery. Gonna force back the army at the same time. NightMare, he does come in from behind. He gets a full surround. GG gets called, and NightMare will take game number 1. Will take down Azura, the King of the Hill. GG. GG, well played. NightMare will take it. Will bring Azura down. Again, was an intense PvP there, and Azura was being cheeky early on by going for a much more economic opener, but unfortunately did kind of stumble his way into his 2-base all-in. We bled out a lot of units before Blink did complete, if you remember, so NightMare was able to just take advantage of Azura. Likewise, also scouted the Dark Shrine. The Dark Shrine and the DTs didn't come into play. A lot, unfortunately, went awry for Azura, and NightMare does take it. Congratulations. Again, NightMare is a heavy favorite, but we have plenty of players that can pose a threat to NightMare. And up next, we have not a PvP. Oh my. Okay. For the first time tonight, we're going to have a very different matchup. It's going to be a PvT. Protoss versus Terran. Oh my god, they're already starting. I need some time. Do need a moment to set up, but there we go. It's going to be NightMare versus Nicoract. Once again on Crimson Court. Now, for those who were not here a couple of days ago, where were you? What's going on? But a couple of days ago, we were live with the Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Nicoract is our most recent Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. Fun fact, Nicoract is the only Terran champion for 2024 in our online weekly tournaments, and has been popping off. Did flex specifically his TVP, and we'll see if he can bring it to the table here and now tonight as well. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have our red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right, but also setting up for a proxy, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is the current King of the Hill, NightMare. He is your NightMare, as the pylon has been thrown down and we are setting up for a proxy. Nicoract typically is the aggressor. Nicoract is typically the player that is dictating the pace of the game, but now the turns have tabled, and instead, NightMare is setting up for a proxy 2-gate. Oh, at the same time, 2-racks opener out of Nicoract. Okay, this is interesting. This is gonna get a little bit spicy. I think I favor NightMare here. What I'm referring to specifically is if we throw down the Cybercore, if we reinforce these initial these initial Zealots with Stalkers, the lack of Factory and the lack of Cyclone, it's going to be difficult to defend. But against initially Zealots, I think we're going to be okay. So we'll see how committed NightMare is going to be, as I'm sure we will soon see that initial tech. The Probe Scout is denied. NightMare is in the dark. Reaper production has now commenced. We have Zealots on the way. Again, these Zealots shouldn't get much done. They're going to be chipping away at the wall, but with extra Reapers, we should have enough DPS to focus them down. We'll see. Reapers don't have the highest amount of damage output. Likewise, we should be able to scout and come across the gateways as well. Zealots are being chronoed. Cybercore is now on the way. And the Zealots are slowly amassing. Uh-oh. Yeah, the Zealots are building up, and it's going to take a little bit longer here for Nicoract to get a read of what's going on. He's moving out with his first Reaper. The other point, of course, nothing at home to defend. This Reaper, as it gets across the map, as it gets into the mineral line, if we can control well, we can get a lot of economic damage done. And now we know. Now we confirm. Zealots are moving out, and we have to pull the boys to repair. Likewise, the Reapers, they turn back around. Both of them do. There was potential. There was potential for some damage. I mean, shield battery's on the way. Reaper does race back home. Bunkers in production as well. Yeah, we can force back these Zealots, but it's not about the Zealots. That's not what I'm scared about. That's not what I'm concerned about. It's about the Stalkers. Yeah, the Stalker has arrived. And we do focus out the first Reaper. And without Cyclones, without kind of a backbone to this army, the Stalker can get a lot done. The factory is in production. Additional Stalkers on the way. And we are containing the Terran player. The other worrisome thing about this map is that there's only 2 attack paths. Like, there's no way to bypass this. Like, there's mineral walls here, mineral walls here. There's no Reaper cliff. So there's no way to bypass this army and get across the map. There's no way to scout and get into the natural base either. Nicoract is pinned back at home. And we have to wait for the factory. The Reapers can try to poke out, but again, there are 3 Stalkers lying in wait. They're going for the Zealots. Yeah, but we have to respect the Stalkers. We have to pull away. And it looks like we're setting up for a 1-base all-in. We're getting into a 1-1-1. Working towards stim, combat shields. But it's going to take a while for this to really get going. CC is on the way. And yeah, Nicoract is in a rough position here. He's going to be stuck at home. And we'll have to fight hard to even expand and take his natural. Back at home, Twilight Council's on the way. NightMare working towards Blink. I imagine it's going to be Blink. Technically, like, a cheeky move here would be to head towards DTs, just because we have limited scans. I'm sure we're, like, muling our hearts out right now, or at least we hope to. Meanwhile, add-on swap, not going right into the tank production, going for the Banshee instead. The Reapers, they try to break out, but yeah, there's no way out of this. The Reapers are forced back. Again, only 2 ways out of the main. And NightMare has them locked down. Reapers are forced back. The Banshees are going to be a nice way to get some damage done across the map and try to get some counter-aggression going. So Banshee does move out. Tank production has begun. There's that sim that we spoke about for the 2-1-1. Meanwhile, NightMare is now getting up to 2-base economy. There is currently no detection, but the Robo has just begun here for NightMare. We have the Robo on the way. That's going to be for our Observer. Nicoract is moving out. And the tank is getting up and running. So far, we get a nice volley off. 1 Stalker goes down. The Banshee has arrived. We get into the mineral line, and probes are falling. We get 2 probe kills. We have the cloak. No detection, not yet. The Robo is still on the way. We don't get many more worker kills because of the shield battery, but we do deny mining time. Deny mining time. At the same time, Marines, they break out. We catch NightMare off guard. I wasn't looking, wasn't paying attention. 2 Stalkers go down. Yeah, massive pickoffs. Nicoract has broken free. And now we expand. And we can move out across the map. For now, knocking down the gateways, bringing down the production. The Banshee is still alive. Still outside the main. Still does pose a threat here to NightMare. Some observers are out. Stim is done. Now, one thing to bear in mind is the Banshee does hit the main base once again. Even though we have Stim, we have no medevacs. So every Stim is pretty crucial, and we have to be very careful when and how we Stim here with Nicoract's Bio Army, as he's been spending his Starport production on Banshees, not on medevacs. So we have to be careful with our Stims. We have to conserve them. Likewise, the tanks are up and running. We did knock down the gateways. Banshees have met up. What a nice spread of tanks. We bring down the Stalker. Bunkers on the way, and Nicoract is rotating over towards the natural. Once again, no shield battery quite in position. We can one-shot probes as well. We have potential. We have potential for damage. We are slipping in. And we are getting some damage done. Again, there's only an Immortal and a Zealot. Oh, we can keep going. There's no anti-air. But the other Stalkers have arrived. And Nicoract is playing it safe. He gets 2 probes. He backs off. big tank shots going off as well. And now finally the medevacs have arrived. We sim a little bit. Oh, never mind. Okay, we do catch a couple of stalkers, but who is it? There is a little bit of latency going on, and hopefully it's not me. Oh, it is. Oh god. If the players do report any issues, then I will leave the game. As I just had a massive lag spike. Oh. No, I'm gonna miss the game. But yeah, if the players ever... Oh god. As I'm just gonna make sure that everything is closed. My OBS is fine. I mean, you can hear my voice fine, but my connection to StarCraft is struggling here. So yeah, hopefully everything's okay as we knock down the bunker. Bunker does fall. NightMare does hit the natural. At the same time, Nicoract is moving out across the map. We're going for a bit of a base trade. Back at home, Nicoract, he should be able to defend. He does clean up all the zealots. At the same time, we knock down the third base, and we're making our way towards the natural. Whew, okay, it was only a lag spike for a moment. Thankfully, we are breaking our way through. Zealots, they collapse in. We knock down the zealots. We're going for the main army, and that's still 3 tanks. Yeah, massive tank shots going off. We take down the Immortal. We take down the Stalkers. Back at home, we have defended a Nicoract. He's breaking through. Is barely breaking through. I say that. We're trying to get on top of the tanks. Oh my god, the tanks, they barely do stand strong. More zealots are on the way, but reinforcements are coming. And Nicoract, he is so close to breaking NightMare down. But yeah, thankfully my connection in BattleNet is okay. Thankfully. I shot up to 1,000 for like 20 seconds. It's crazy. Did shoot up. Meanwhile, we collapse on top of the tanks. The tanks take a lot of hits, but we survive. The tanks live. The tanks, they barely do live. No shield battery, no overcharge. And Nicoract, he has done it. He's breaking through the natural base. NightMare barely has anything left standing. We have 1 Immortal. We have a handful of Zealots. And we have a bit of Hopium, but that is not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Nicoract will take the game and will knock down the King of the Hill. GG. GG, well played. I do apologize for the dropped frames that you did see there. Thankfully, it did not affect the players. If it ever did, of course, I'm more than happy to leave the game. It was just a weird lag spike. I legit shot up to 1,000 MS in game. It was crazy. just shot right up. But GG, well played. Fun fact, we have actually not had a single player go for more than 1 win. Like, we've had back-to-back-to-back, like Kings being knocked down left and right. It's been a very competitive tournament so far, just non-stop back and forth, and Nicoract, very nicely done. Despite the kind of rough start where he was stuck on 1 base, he was able to successfully get into a 2-on-1 setup. The Banshee was doing a lot of damage, was able to get some probes, able to keep NightMare busy back at home. And if you remember, there was a key moment where NightMare was busy dealing with the Banshees when Nicoract was able to actually catch some of those Stalkers out of the map, able to sneak up on them, focus down 2 or 3 of them, eventually expand, and eventually settle into his own 2-base push. GG. GG, well played. And the question becomes, will the trend continue? We've been trading back and forth, map after map, and can we actually get a player that can go on a bit of a win streak, or do we just keep trading games? Also, I did turn off the camera just in case, so hold on. I'll bring the camera back. I got you, I got you. But I was checking to see, like, if I had any applications open that I could, like, close. So, so I did turn off the camera just in case. See if that could help in any way. But we're back. We are going to be back. And we're getting ready for our next best of 1. It's going to be a TVT, actually. Okay, we're done with the Protoss for now. We're going to be taking a bit of a break from those Protoss players, and we are jumping into some more Terran action. Oh boy, it's going to be a TVT between Nicoract and Moja. Now, is Moja on the team? I do need to double check that, actually. Is Moja on the team? I don't think he was when he was in Home Story Cup. And yeah, the answer is no. Okay, so he is teamless. Jumping on in. We'd love to see it. Here we go. Are getting ready for our next series, and we already have a couple of players lying in wait as well. I do notice Demi in the chat, the Indian Zerg player. I'm sure he's going to be jumping in at some point in the tournament. I see HiGhDrA as well lurking around. HiGhDrA. Do I notice any other players? I see Iba. He's laddering at the moment. Could make an appearance. I'm sure he will. Just keeping an eye on some of these players that are in-game. I use O&O to disable win features for performance. Interesting. I might look into that. I mean, I typically don't have any performance issues. It's usually network issues, but maybe it could help. Could help. But it looks like we need a moment for our players to get ready. So we might go on a short break. I mean, we are getting towards that, not halfway mark, but a third of the way mark. This is going to be our 5th best of 1, and we have 15 in total. So we're getting there. We're a third of the way there. So now wouldn't be a bad moment for a short break. Just waiting for our next opponent. Again, Nicoract is our current king of the hill. We'll see if anyone can knock him down. So far, we just haven't really had anyone go on more than 1 game win streak, but this could be our moment. This could be our chance. Again, if you want to help support the tournament as well, OSC, or maybe if you're unfamiliar with OSC, OSC, they've been funding events and hosting events for many, many years at this point. Hosting events like OSC Melee, the Melee Cups, Masters Coliseum, or the Masters Cups as well. And, of course, their seasonal playoffs as well. So, big shout out to OSC. Shout out to Eddie as well. I did see Eddie in the chat. Eddie is the organizer and, of course, the owner of OSC. So, big shout out to Eddie. Gracias. Thank you for all you do. Oh, and here we go. We have our players, we have our map. We were going to go on a break, but it looks like no need. We are jumping on into our TVT, and we are featuring a bit of an older map. If you're an older school player, if you're an older school viewer, then you'd be familiar with this. We're going to be loading into Eternal Empire. It's been so long. It has been far too long. Predictions in the chat are open. Place your bets for this best of 1. Now, what I will say is that Nicoract is a more notable player, 100%. I would fully get behind Nicoract, but Moja, he is a bit of a ladder hero, and he was kind of floating under the radar for a long time. The most recent Home Story Cup really showcased Moja, and he was able to really flex his skill, and I think I'm pretty sure he got a lot of fans. I became a fan of Moja as well after Home Story Cup, so I would not count him out. Would not count him out, but here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire. We have our Red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes, the current king of the hill. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the German and Terran player, the Blue Terran, the Home Story Cup extraordinaire, if you will. It is Moja. Moja? Is it Moja? Is it like Mojo? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard people say his name. But now we are going to be settling in, and it has been a very, very long time since I've casted and seen Eternal Empire. This is a very large map. I don't know if you noticed. It is a very large map in the map pool, and this map was known for a lot of late game. A lot of hour-plus games. I've casted many an hour-long game on Eternal Empire. An hour and a half, almost 2 hours. This was back in the day of the Stargate like Void Ray meta as well in PvZ. Like this, some dark times were had on this map, and a lot of split map scenarios as well. We do have the Xel'Nagas in the center to scout the main attack pods, of course. We have these rocks here creating a very narrow choke point outside of the natural. Because of this, the natural is very defendable. Very defendable natural base. Likewise, ramp also leading to the third, also a choke point as well, so a very defendable third base. Taking the fourth is a little bit more exposed. We've seen a lot of players take the more southern fourth base instead and then slowly pushing forward. But because of how defendable this base or this map can be on 3 bases, we've seen a lot of mech. A lot of mech. And I'm not calling mech yet, but I would not be surprised if we see mech at some point between these two. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it. As for now, double gas open. Okay. So Moja's going for an economic Rax expand, a faster CC from our blue Terran. Meanwhile, our red Terran player was the lights turn on. Did you see that? Like suddenly the map got brighter. What just happened? Do we have a day-night cycle on Eternal Empire? Did I just not notice? Maybe. But double gas, faster factory, a much more aggressive start from Nicoract. I heard Turtle Empire. Oh, the Turtle Empire. Let's go. Don't talk bad about the Turtle Empire. They don't take kindly to that. Oh no. But yes, no, that's true. Turtle Empire. Yeah, that's very apt as well. Unironically. As we are getting to our 1-1-1 from the side of Moja. Same can be said here for Nicoract. We are moving out with our initial Reaper Hellion. Looking for a way in. Moja is in position on the high ground. Ooh, we do threaten a dive towards the natural. The bunker is ready. The Marines as well. So far, nice defense here from our blue Terran player. We are going to be holding, and my eyes are definitely on the production here. See what kind of direction we go in. Are we going to be stuck in another hour-long game? Are we going to... oh, no. Oh, I can see it already. Oh, the PTSD, Pappy. The PTSD. Back at home, we do have our starport, of course, getting ready for our drop play. Medevac is popping out, and we're moving out with our initial Cyclone Marine. We'll see if Nicoract can get some damage done. He has Reaper Hellion on one end, and we have the Cyclone Marine in the other. We're making our way across the map. Moja so far securing himself, going tank Viking. We have Marines on the way, but that could just be for a bit of a buffer zone early on. Nicoract is going to be slipping in, going for the natural, and we'll get a couple of SCVs. Yeah, one SCV does go down. We deny mining time, going for the bunker, sorry, going for the depot as well. And the depot looks like it will barely fall. Oh, it's going to be close. We do get it. Depot goes down, Nicoract backs off. At the same time, Reapers are diving to the main, and we will get a full scout. Yeah, Moja out of position. Reapers slip in. And we will get another SCV. Not bad. Another 2 workers going to be going down, and Moja late to react, late to respond. 3, 4, almost 5 SCVs going down. Oh my god, these Reapers are getting so much damage done. Remember, they don't scale well into a longer game. They don't scale into the mid game, so whatever we can get with them is that much more value. 6 SCVs, the Reapers get out. At the same time, we drop into the natural. This time we're in position. Moja does defend, but Nicoract does get out. Meanwhile, back at home, we're embracing our Raven production, getting into tanks. Moja is working towards Stim, so Moja is playing Bio. Thankfully, we have Bio tank out of Moja. Let's go. Double eBay on the way for our 1-1 upgrades. Meanwhile, from the side of Nicoract, still no major signs. No second factory yet, no second Rex. They're now just building up on 2 bases. And that is a pretty hefty tank army. And Nicoract does have the tank lead. Setting up for his 3rd CC on location. Is going to be thrown down. And here comes the move out. Bearing in mind, Nicoract doesn't just have the tank lead, he also has Ravens. He has Ravens, he has Disable available. He has a lot of potential with this army to break through. To break through a defensive line of tanks. Moja back at home. So far, only 1 tank. 2nd tank is on the way. Now, Moja with his own ravens, he can go for the counter disable. He can disable the ravens of his opponents. Second tank is out. Third base on location. And we can force a cancel. And the tanks are getting within range. We force the cancel. Very nicely done here by Nicoract. Back at home, getting into his own third. Is almost done. It's almost done at this point. Nicoract even dropping into the main. Going for the third base once again. Up, going for the mineral line. Regardless, economic damage. SCVs are going down. Nicoract pushing forward. Doesn't quite commit. As we get another 5 SCV kills, we delay the third base even further. And Nicoract, he's just all over Moja, pulling him apart. Regardless of how defensive this map is, Moja has been struggling to defend. By him moving out to deny drop play. Nicoract reinforcing. So let's go for the scan. The army is revealed. The tank on siege, we have the disable. Yeah, the first tank is disabled. We focus on the ravens as well. Water have been thrown down. And do we have enough to break through? Just one tank in the back line. Boys are being pulled. The disables are about to run out. Up. They're about to run out. And massive tank volley is going to be going up. Yeah, so many SCVs are going down. GG gets called. We break through. And Nicoract will take the second game. Will take down his next challenger. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Nicoract, as he is the first to get more than one win. It's crazy. Also, I should fix this up. There we go. Nicoract is a Terran player, not a Protoss. But GG, well played. Nicoract does take down Moja in a very intense game. Nicoract, he was all over him, able to go for the drop play, able to pull apart the attention of Moja left and right. The multitasking was insane, and Moja unfortunately barely could not keep up with the speed of Nicoract. And with that, congratulations. Nicoract is the first to get his second win on the board. Congratulations. And with that, we are a third of the way through. We are a third of the way through the broadcast. That is match 5 in the books. And now we're getting ready for match number 6. Who's up next? Who is up next? Who will challenge Nicoract for that throne, for that crown? I mentioned before, I saw Eva, I saw HiGhDrA, I did see Demi as well. BabyMarine has come online. Hello, Mr. Marine. Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? So we are getting that next best of 1 ready. Also, when it comes to the formats, I didn't disclose this before, but for those that are curious, the challenger has the map pick. There is one veto. The way that it works is the current King of the Hill gets one map veto, one map that they can get rid of, and the challenger can pick whatever map from there. You can go for any other map. That is the advantage you have as the challenger. And here we go, we have it. It is going to be a Terran versus Zerg. Okay, Nicoract, we're getting a little bit of everything here. Game 1, we saw Nicoract versus NightMare in a TVP. Then we saw a TBT between Nicoract and Moja. And now a Terran versus Zerg. Let's go. As Demi has been lurking in the chat, has been lying in wait. I did notice Demi did redeem a replay cast as well. We will get around to that eventually. We'll get around to it. But shout out to Demi. Varun, if you will. The best player in India. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets here. Will the win streak of Nicoract continue? Or will Demi knock him down and break that win streak? Here we go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Post Youth, we have our Indian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Match Arena Esports. Our challenger, it is Demi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the current King of the Hill, the Blue Terran player, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. Here we go. Or as in Turtle Terrans? I don't remember this map. You You're lucky, the Andariel. You're lucky. But we are settling in. We have seen Nicoract very often embrace 2-Rax Reaper on this map, so I'm curious if he does the same. For now, just going to be an initial Rax opener from the side of the Terran. Meanwhile, Demi back at home going for a hatch gas pool. This is a very popular map amongst Zerg players in ZVT. The reason for this is because of your secure natural base with gold minerals, likewise the eventual gold base as well, and the center of the map is pretty wide open. We have a lot of potential for surrounds, so I'm curious what Demi will embrace. Likewise, this is not a bad map for mutas, and if you're familiar with Demi, you would know that he is the muta king of the sea, and Demi does love his mutas. Whenever he can, he will embrace mass muta play against Protoss, against Zerg, and against Terran. Is a very stylistic play style here out of Demi. So we'll see if he does head in that direction. It's a little bit too early to call muta play, but just saying that it's a bit of a tendency that Demi has. It's something to bear in mind. Behind this, Nicoract is going for the Rax Expand Economic Opener, or Standard Opener, maybe what I should say. Just say Rax into CC. Are going to be settling in. The Overlord will confirm. First Reaper is moving out. And we'll see if the Reaper can get anything done. We can, of course, threaten the mineral lines. We can delay the third base. This Reaper does move out. And Demi doesn't have a drone in position to expand. So it is going to be contained on 2 bases. A little bit longer. Reaper does dip in. Trading with the Marines. Oh, Marines? Trading with the drones, I should say. Dancing with the Lings as well. Getting 1 Ling kill. Very nice movement. Very nice control out of Nicoract. Gets 1 Ling. Does rotate back around. But the Queen has arrived, and we should be respecting the Queen. Up! The drone! 1 drone goes down. Big pickoff. We get 1 Ling, we get 1 drone, and there is still no third base. Behind this, Nicoract going for a third CC before starport. Economic follow-up here out of Nicoract. And Demi, how long are we going to be staying on 2 bases? Now we have the third base on the way. Hatchery gets thrown down. And we'll see what Demi does take into. But now we're still just droning, still building up our queens. Starport has been thrown down across the map. Reaper does dip into the main, but is forced out. The Reaper looking for another way in. Meanwhile, with this tech lab, it looks like we're going for an add-on swap, so it looks like 3cc Banshee here out of Nicoract. I mean, he's not afraid to invest into battle cruisers, but we're not really set up for that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the add-on swap. So there we go. Banshees are going to be on the horizon. You know, back at home, Demi's still droning up. Fully saturated on 2 bases, getting towards his third. And Nicoract is in position to try and delay that. Keeping an eye on that third base. Keeping an eye on Demi. Demi, meanwhile, does confirm the third CC timing, does also confirm the cloak is where the Banshees. Demi is aware. And Nicoract doesn't quite commit, not yet. Still looking for a way in. Getting a couple of tumors. Tumors 2 goes down. We have a bio transition out of this. We have 2 more Raxes. Just a 3-1-1 setup here from Nicoract. So far, everything's looking standard. He's just kind of gaining map control and vying for map control with this Hellion Banshee. And so far, doing a good job. So far, just making sure that the creep doesn't get out of hand. So Banshee does hit the main. Meanwhile, it's going to be a lair opener out of Demi. Going for the lair first, taking all of his gases. That's a lot of gas. All 6 gases have been taken. At the start of the game, we did talk about Spire play. We spoke about the mutas, and this feels like mutas here from Demi. Otherwise, we would see extra Evo Chambers. We would have Evo Chambers on the way for upgrades. What else is all this gas going to be spent on? It has to be the Muta. Let's go. At the same time, Hellions hit the right-hand side. The Queens are able to keep up. Or are they? do threaten the mineral line. We don't quite commit. 2 drones go down. A lot of creep as well. Again, the creep is only connecting the bases. We don't really have much of a map presence. Meanwhile, the lair is done. The gases are being saturated. And where is that tech? Hellions going for a dive. Oh, and it's going to be a one-way trip. Yeah, we do overextend. The Hellions are going to get surrounded. Nice movement here with the Hellions, but alas, the Lings will clean them up, or at least they should. 3 Hellions will escape, and there it is. There's the Spire. So it is going to be muted play out of Demi. Again, this is not a bad map for it. We're on 3 base saturation, 4th base on the horizon. Again, the Hellions have done a great job of just keeping the creep at bay, and that means that Nicoract is building up towards his 7-minute push. Once Stim kicks in, once 1-1 kicks in, there's going to be a very strong timing here from the Terran player. Building up towards 1-1 Stim, and a massive biotank push. And I'm concerned that Demi won't have enough to defend. The biggest concern, of course, is that Demi's ground army is lacking upgrades as a result of his tech, as a result of the Spire. We have no 1-1. We have no melee upgrades, no carapace upgrades for Demi. It's going to be vanilla Ling Bane and Queens. And here we go. Here comes Nicoract. Moving out across the map, looking to knock down that 4th. And the hatchery is going to be denied. That's a kill! Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. A massive pickoff on that base. And that is all that Nicoract wanted. He brings down the 4th. He backs off. He rotates. And Demi's hurting. Demi's hurting quite a lot here. Demi has a high drone count, but he's long distance mining. He needs a base, needs a double expand. You can see Nicoract, he's knocking down the would-be gold as well. If Demi was double expanding, we would knock down the hatchery for a second time. And Demi is being contained. Catching an Overlord. And these mutas have a lot of work to do. They need to counterattack across the map. They need to get some kind of damage. Back at home, no turrets. We are not ready for muta play, but we do have Marines. And the mutas do reveal themselves. The mutas say they do reveal themselves here against the bio. More reinforcements on the way. Nicoract, he responds with turrets. And missile darts being thrown down in every single base. And Demi is re-expanding on the left-hand side, but Nicoract, I don't think he cares. He's pushing in. Making his way through on the right-hand side. Demi going for a massive counterattack, but again, he already showed his hand. If there were no turrets, then I would favor this, but it's not going to be easy. Same time, Nicoract is pushing in. Dancing with the Ling Bane. We have plenty of reinforcements back at home. Mutas, of course, back. We do get a couple of SCVs for 1 muta. And Nicoract, he's gaining ground. He's slowly pushing forward up the ramp into the base. Into Demi. And Nicoract does have the supply lead. More reinforcements are on the way, and Nicoract, he's looking to snowball out of control. Yeah, we have to evacuate the 3rd base. Well, brutal loss here for Demi. He's knocked down to a 3-base economy. Not even a 3-base economy. As we have no gases, once again the muta's going for a counterattack. Back at home, we don't have much left to defend. It's mainly here at the main. Maybe get some SCVs. Going for the turrets. Turret goes down. The turret does fall. SCVs as well. Finally some good damage. But it may be too late. It may be too little too late. That is a lot of Ling Bane though. If Nicoract overextends, if he does overcommit and moves a little bit too far out of range of the tanks, then Nicoract could lose the fight. But the stars have to all align for Demi. As mutas, they hit the main. They get another mineral line. We are forcing Nicoract all in. That's a lot of SCV kills. And Nicoract getting knocked down to 42 workers at the same time. We collapse on top of the main army. Bailings, can they get on top of the Marines? Oh, they cannot. They barely cannot. Ay, ay, ay. The tanks go down, but the Marines, they stand strong. And GG gets called. The man with gun overwhelms, and Nicoract will take the game. GG. GG, well played. And Nicoract does break through, does overwhelm. Unfortunately, the muta play typically needs to be a bit of a surprise. It needs to catch the Terran player off guard. And if you remember, Nicoract was not ready for the mutas until they showed themselves. If you remember, they did reveal themselves against the Banshees, and once we saw that, we got our turrets ready, we got our Marines ready back at home. Eventually, the Mutas did do damage, but it took far too long. It took far too long for the Mutas to pay for themselves. By the time they were killing workers, Demi was dying. It didn't matter in the end. Nicoract was just gaining too much ground. It was already in his face. GG, well played. GG, well played. Nicoract does take it. And with that, goes on an even longer win streak. Oh boy, here we go. Nicoract takes down one Southeast Asian Zerg player, and it looks like we're getting ready for another. Oh boy. A bit of a treat here. We rarely get to cast him nowadays, but it is going to be... My bad. I may have pressed the wrong button. But it's going to be another Terran versus Zerg matchup. It's going to be Nicoract versus the King of the Sea himself versus MeomaikA. Let's go. Let us go. Just need a moment to set that up. And MeomaikA is a very different beast, very different kind of player. I mean, he's a cat, true. He's a big cat. And I do not expect a standard game. Not at all. I expect chaos. I expect pandemonium. I expect a lot of nonsense here as MeomaikA, he has chosen his map. And we're going to be loading into Ghost River. Oh boy. A very small map in the map pool, very short rush distance. Aggression is favored on this map. And we'll see which direction this goes. We'll see how chaotic we get. We go. So we are jumping into our next game. Into our 7th match, I believe, of the night. And jumping into our 7th match. Again, I always do appreciate being able to cover MeomaikA whenever we can. I appreciate it. There was a time when we would cast MeomaikA on a weekly basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. But that was back when we hosted weekly Oceanic tournaments and Southeast Asian events as well. Nowadays, less so, unfortunately. Likewise, MeomaikA is less active as a player as well. He is a little bit less active, but still willing to show up here for these weekly OSC King of the Hills. And it looks like we have our lobby. You can hear the beeps. We're jumping into our game. And if you're in the chat, predictions. Get your gamba going. Predictions are open. Let's go. Amazing names. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Ghost River, we have our current King of the Hill. We have the red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player, the Teal Zerg representing Team Gosu. I'm willing to hold his beer while he plays. God damn it. It is MeomaikA. I'll work on the name. Hold on. I have teal. I do. Bam. There we go. We'll fix that up as we're selling in, and it is going to be a pool first opener out of MeomaikA. Now, something to bear in mind is that MeomaikA is a very aggressive player, but he's usually aggressive in the mid game in ZBT. This pool first is usually a bit of a safety pool first. It's a way to wreak a little bit of havoc, but to get into a longer game. I'm going to say that we have seen MeomaikA go for roach rushes before. That is going to be an available option here for MeomaikA if he wants to go for a faster roach warren. But for now, it's going to be a pool into expansion into gas. So pool hatch gas here from Meo. SCV Scout will confirm. With this, we should be making 6 links to get across the map to delay the expansion. We'll keep an eye on Meo and how many links he does invest in. As the queens are on the way. And we don't save any larvae. Okay. Yeah, no lava is saved, we're just droning. So once again, as you did mention, even though it was a pull first, safety pull first. Very safe pull first. It means that we will defend and will be safe against something like a proxy 2-Rax Reaper, or I should say proxy 3-Rax. Not necessarily Reaper. But against proxies we'll be safe and we will be able to settle into a longer game. Again, MeomaikA is willing to open up inefficiently just to be safe. And likewise to mind game his opponent in the longer series as well. As Link Speed is on the way, but this is the first big sign here for MeomaikA. He is not pulling out of gas. It is very common, very meta to pull out of gas once you have Link Speed, but that is not the case for MeomaikA. Oh, good. That's the probe. As Jordan barely does not go down. Reaper does confirm additional gas mining, and this should be for a fast lair. This should be for 2-base lair. MeomaikA is known for a very iconic build. He's known for 2-base HiGhDrA. Known for HiGhDrA play. I imagine that's where we're headed. We'll keep an eye on where that gas is being spent. No, we're going for the roach one. Ooh. We at least attempt to. Reaper does dip in. And we'll delay the tech. We get into the mineral line. The drone is going to be going down. We get one drone kill in the main. Reaper will get the hell out of there, and the Roach Warren is successfully hidden from the Reaper. Uh-oh. So it looks like it's going to be a 2-base all-in. It looks like it's going to be a Roach Ling or maybe a Ravager Ling all-in from MeomaikA. He's still mining gas, and we are not taking into a lair. So it's going to be off of Hatch Tech, and Nicoract, he only has a piece of the puzzle. Nicoract is in the dark, and Link Speed kicks in. And the problem is with Link Speed, we can chase away the Reaper, which means we do not scout the Roach Warren. Meanwhile, back at home, 1-1-1 opener, safety bunker on the high ground, bit of an overreaction, but I love the Banshee on the way. The Banshee is going to be ideal against Roaches. So very safe play out of Nicoract. He goes 1-1-1 before the 3rd CC, so very safe play. I think this is very smart, especially against MeomaikA, but is it going to be enough? Because here comes the all-in. We have Lings, we have Roaches. The scan reveals the Ravagers. Oh my god, very important scan here from Nicoract. Second bunker's on the way. We're getting ready. Getting ready for the aggression. The Lings are getting roasted. Bunkers on the high ground. More Lings going down. And the Banshee has arrived, and this Banshee has to focus down those Ravagers. Yeah, the Roaches and Ravagers are going to be forced back. And MeomaikA is droning. MeomaikA, he knows he can no longer... Yes. He knows he can no longer end the game. He starts droning, and we're too far behind. With that, Nicoract takes another game. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Nicoract does take it. Again, very safe play out of Nicoract. He had a safety bunker on the high ground, bunker on the low ground. Went for a delayed 3rd CC. I wouldn't say he was hard countering. Oh, now maybe I would actually. In a sense, kind of hard countering the build of MeomaikA. Even though Nicoract didn't even see the Roach Warren initially, didn't even know what was going on, because he knows how aggressive MeomaikA is, and because MeomaikA has a reputation, it does lead to some more safer play, and as a result, Nicoract was able to shut him down. If Nicoract was going for a standard opener, if he was going for a 3rd CC before Starport, then MeomaikA would have a lot more potential for damage. As we saw, not the case. Not the case in the end. GG, well played. Nicoract will take it, and we're getting ready for our next series. Let's go. Again, when it comes to MeomaikA's playstyle, he thrives when his opponent plays standard. If his opponent ever deviates from standard, whether it's aggression or safetiness, that's where MeomaikA can struggle a little bit more. As he's a little bit less able to dictate the pace of the game. And with that, we're getting ready for our next series, our next best of 1. That was quick. It was quick. That was a fast game. Oh. Here we go. We are getting things ready. And we will see who our next opponent's going to be. Do we have another player here on the Americas? Do we switch over to Land of Europa? Where are we going? Oh, we have our answer. It is a player that I mentioned earlier when I was looking at who was lurking around on the European server. I did point out a couple of players. I pointed out Demi, I pointed out HiGhDrA, I pointed out Eba, and I also pointed out another Terran player. A younger Terran from the land of Italy. You know who it is. It's going to be BabyMarine. Let's go. BabyMarine is coming up next, and I will have to relog. One moment. Heading over to the European server. Now, we were able to feature BabyMarine earlier today, if you were here for ESL Americas. If you were here for Americas, we were able to broadcast the other one. BabyMarine. Papi, BabyMarine. I mean, we were able to cast both of them today. True, to be fair. We did cast both BattleBee and BabyMarine in ESL Americas. And we were able to feature them both against Mixu, if you recall. Mixu did pop off this morning against those Terran players, and we'll see if BabyMarine can have a little bit more success here in the TVT matchup instead. We shall see. As predictions are now open, and we are jumping into our next game. And can Nicoract be stopped? He is on a very, very solid win streak right now. He has won the most games out of any other so far in this week's OSC King of the Hill. Can the King be brought down, or will his reign continue? Let's go. Seeing the chat to Porforian, Azura, Nick. Yeah, we've had a lot of upsets, mate. Best of ones. They're crazy. Very intense game so far. We've had some crazy upsets, but despite the caliber of players that have been signing up, that have been stepping up, it is our blue Terran that has been reigning supreme. But we'll get to him. We will get to him. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red Terran player from the land of Italy. We have our new challenger, BabyMarine. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the current reigning King of the Hill with 4 wins under his belt. Can he keep going? Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Nicoract. Here we go. And he has been on a tear so far. And he was already able to flex his TVT earlier against Moja, but here against BabyMarine, we'll see. We shall see. As for now, double gas opener. Double gas opener out of our red Terran player, likewise double gas out of our blue Terran as well. We are going for mirrored builds for the time being. With double gas, we're going for faster factories. This can lead into Reaper Hellion, can lead into faster Cyclones, can lead into a faster drop play. Keep an eye on our players as SCVs are moving out. Oh, also my apologies. I will fix up, there we go. Fix up the player names. Look, I have to change them manually whenever a player has a different name in game. I have to change it back. Smooch. But I'm on it, I'm on it. I got you, I got you. Cool. So we are going to be settling in. There's that factory follow-up, as we did mention. Both players are embracing that. Likewise, both players, I believe, denied the scouts. Yeah, we were able to fully wall off. Oh, the boot! No head boot. As SCVs, they do pass by. And for the time being, we're going to be embracing these Reapers. Reapers, they can check our fringe third base, or our close by third base locations. Nicoract moves out. A bold move. As BabyMarine, he does shoot first, and Nicoract has to back the hell off. The Reaper being low, but the Reaper should not go down. Will be able to escape. Will get away. It is considered unsafe to move out with your first Reaper in TVT because of this. Like, the defensive advantage is quite real. There's a lot of choke points, a lot of ramps you can take advantage of as well. It's very risky. Thankfully, Nicoract is not punished. He does pull away. There's the expansion on the low ground for both players. We do see BabyMarine going to be embracing faster Cyclone production. Meanwhile, Nicoract going for Reaper Hellion. Okay. So Nicoract with that initial Hellion, he will have a stronger defense early on, but he's going for delayed Cyclones into drop play. So we're going to be calming things down and getting ready for those medevacs, getting ready for those drops. Expansions are on the way. You can see BabyMarine just checking these fringe, all these third base locations, making sure there is no proxy. There is no shenanigans going on. And here comes that medevac. Interesting, we do see a delay on the medevac, or no medevac whatsoever, going for the starport, going for the tech lab instead. Okay, so BabyMarine is going to be the defender initially, working towards the tech lab into either Raven or Banshee production. Curious what direction we head in. Yeah, tech lab also on the way on that factory. Raven is on the way. Meanwhile, Nicoract will be the aggressor with that drop. Just waiting for that second cyclone, then moving out with the drop. With this, we can go for some economic damage. We can pick away at some of these key units. We can see BabyMarine is lying in wait, ready in the main base for any kind of drop play, any kind of aggression. So the pressure is on Nicoract here to get some damage done. Not just because of the drop, but likewise, he's going to be down in Raven production. He's going for a Liberator follow-up. Likewise, Nicoract is going to be down in tank production as well. There's a lot going for BabyMarine at the moment. There's a lot going for him. Medevac slipping in from behind, trying to creep up on that main base, into the mineral line, and a late reaction out of BabyMarine. Yeah, delayed reaction. We do get 3 SCV kills. Very nicely done. Oh no! Ooh, as we overextend. Oh my god, and the medevac goes down of Nicoract. A little bit too green. He does fly too close to the sun. He gets burned. At the same time, Reapers will get a couple of SCVs here towards the natural, but that was a big loss for Nicoract. Ay, ay, ay. Initially, he did well, but yeah, it did zig when he otherwise should have zagged. And with that, Cyclones go down, and BabyMarine, he's setting up for a massive counterattack. What do we have? We have 2 Ravens, we have 2 tanks. We're up in Ravens, we're up in tanks. We are up in army supply, and Nicoract, he's in a lot of trouble. Oh boy, sure, we have a tank, we can disable it. Disable or interference matrix is done for BabyMarine. You can disable the tank. Likewise, we will most likely have to pull the boys. Nice initial tank shot goes off. Okay, not bad. Tank volley goes off, Liberator to the main. We get 2 more SCVs. And BabyMarine, he pulls back home. Okay. wait, we survive. The Red Terran does pull back home. Liberator will distract him. We'll get some more economic damage, delaying mining time here at the natural. And Nicoract will survive. Again, things are looking very tense and a little bit scary there for the Blue Terran, but does make it out. Likewise, Liberator still wreaking havoc in the main. Distracting BabyMarine. 3rd CC's on the way, about to finish. Meanwhile, do we have a 3rd base from the side of Nicoract? We do not. Okay, no 3rd base in sight. Going for additional Raxes, additional Marine production. Reapers do slip in, and BabyMarine does get a full scout. Does confirm the production. We're even getting a couple of SCVs as well. But this is going to be a very dedicated move out here from Nicoract, just considering how delayed the 3rd base is. And the goal of this move out, I imagine, should be to delay the expansion of his opponents, and to expand behind it ourselves. We'll see. So Nicoract does move out. Yep, there it is. 3rd base is now on the way. And this is all about making sure that BabyMarine is stuck on 2 bases. Sure, he has a fast 3rd, but that won't matter if he cannot actually take that 3rd base and mine from it. Nicoract is moving out. Looking at the army tab, Nicoract is up in tanks. He's got 5 tanks on the floor of his opponent. What BabyMarine has, though, is air control. Vikings. We have Vikings and we have Ravens. So we have a little more micro ability with this army. To pick away those tanks, to pick away at the libs, at the medevacs. Nicoract rotating around, his army is spotted. And again, as a reminder, Nicoract does not want to push into the natural, doesn't want to go for the kill, doesn't want to try to. He does creep up the Raven! He does creep up, the Raven does go down, a massive pick up. Raven does fall, we get 5 SCV kills, and at the same time we drop into the main base. Oh my god, I was like, Nicoract doesn't have to go in, but he is! He sees an opening. He has control of the ramp, he has control of the production. Yeah, BabyMarine out of position. Oh my god, but the Master Sable! Yeah, the power of the Raven. Tanks are going to be going down. That's a massive loss here for Nicoract. At the same time, we get into the mineral line. SCVs are falling. But is it enough? This was a bold move out of Nicoract and a little bit unnecessary. We didn't have to go for the dive, didn't have to go for the Doom Drop, and with the help of the Vikings, we clean everything up. We shut down the medevacs. Everything goes down. And sure, Nicoract, he has a third base, but was it worth it? Scan reveals a third. BabyMarine, he will soon move out. Meanwhile, Viking drop into the main. A little bit desperate here. Nicoract just trying to buy time. Does get one SCV, gets two. Two SCVs go down. Nicoract moving out once again. Again, Nicoract, he's doing everything he can to try to keep BabyMarine at home and delay the third. He is making his way over. Likewise, the Red Terran getting in position. Once again, Viking drop towards that natural. We do find a tank. Not bad. Ooh. Tank goes down. The Ravens don't have much energy to work with. Likewise, Vikings are going to be zoned away. And Nicoract, he is able to get a high worker count back at home. Getting into the greater economy. But Nicoract, he is down in tanks. I mean, after losing so many, that does make sense. The base is getting low. CC under fire, but BabyMarine, he's ready to break out. Nicoract, he does pull back in time. Marines have arrived. Ooh. We cannot quite break in. And Nicoract has to get the hell out of here. One of these tanks is going to go down. Do get another tank kill. Again, BabyMarine, he has double the tank count of Nicoract. But he's stuck at home. He is going to be stuck at home. Nicoract has map control, getting a fourth base on location. BabyMarine still just establishing his third. And again, Nicoract just doing everything he can to be in the face of BabyMarine. Rotating once again. Viking drop towards the natural. Cheeky move. Is cleaned up. 4 CC on the way. BabyMarine, he's securing himself. A stronger tank line. And Nicoract does have to back off. Whew. And now finally, after a very intense couple of minutes, we can breathe. we can take a moment to breathe. We can take a moment to just calm things down and take stock. So Nicoract will have a faster fourth, true. He does have the better economy, and the supply does lie currently. Even though Nicoract is up in supply, that's a lot, or that's mainly in Marine. He is mainly in Marine here, as Nicoract has 59, soon to be 60 Marines with his main army. Because of this, he's very mobile. He has a lot of dive potential, that is true, but in a head-on fight, I do favor the Red Terran instead. As I say that, we do catch a lot of Marines out. Ooh, that's a big loss. A lot of Marines do go down. Likewise, BabyMarine, he does commit up the ramp, and he's catching another tank as well. The tank goes down, reinforcements as well. And we're going for the planetary, going for the economy, going for whatever we can get. And so far, this is well worth it for BabyMarine. Getting the entire mineral line, oh my god. 18 SCVs go down, we cripple the economy. And just like that, BabyMarine, even though he's on 3 bases, is ahead in that economy. Soon to be getting his own 4th base. Nicoract was also being active with his own Marines, but was unable to find any damage. This was a risky maneuver from BabyMarine just because he had no map control, but it paid off. He caught Marines, he got a tank, he got a mineral line, he got a lot. So with that, we now have a 4th base on the way. And I worry because BabyMarine is going to be the first to max out, and he will have a slightly better army. Now, as I say that, even if you're down in army supply, even if you're down in tanks, you can pull off a defense in TVT. It's all about positional play. Like, your opponent might even have like 20 or 30 supply on you, but if you have a high ground, if you have a tank line, you can defend, you can make up for it, and you can survive long enough to max out. So Nicoract is not out of this. Not yet. Does scan the 4th. Does spot a lot of exposed tanks and no turrets. Tempting. Very tempting to drop on top of this. As the Marine army is over on the right-hand side. Nicoract likewise rotating. More starports on the way. It's going to be from Mass Viking for air control. BabyMarine just refining his force. Going for a heavy tank Viking base composition instead. And here comes the unsiege. Here comes the move out. Uh-oh. And Nicoract does not spot this. He's out on the map. We could try to go for a backstab. We could try to collapse on top of this 3rd base and try to drag the Terran army back home. That's the hope. is the hope. As the Marines, they step on forward, they get on top of the tank. The tank is going to go down. BabyMarine, he doesn't turn around. He keeps going. He keeps on pushing. He's going to lose the base, though. A lot of SCVs are falling. But he finds his way up the ramp. Yeah, big disable as well. BabyMarine is gaining ground. Across the map, he will lose the entire mineral line, and Nicoract, he's getting ready for a surround. And comes in from behind. He gets a full surround. The tanks are exposed, and we get every single tank. Oh my god. The tanks go down. The Vikings as well. Where were the Marines? Exclamation mark Funada, these Marines, they were nowhere they needed to be. They were behind the tanks, not in front. And with that, every single tank goes down. The base as well. The third base has fallen, and Nicoract, he's back in the driver's seat. We're back in this. We're more than back in. We're ahead. And we're moving out across the map. BabyMarine, he was doing so well. He was actually doing so well. Despite the start. But now he's down a base. He's down in tanks. We are down to how many? 6 tanks remaining. For BabyMarine. Now, how do you beat tank lines? Man with gun, Pat. That's all you need. The Beyond style of play. Forget about the Vikings, forget about the tanks, just go mass Marine instead. That's what Beyond is known for as well. And Nicoract does do his best impression. And who cares about Vikings? They can't shoot down, they have to land. True. Marines, they shoot up and down. It's crazy. As for now, we're going to be rotating BabyMarine. He's going to be restabilizing on 3 bases. He does retake his third. Nicoract is maxed. He's up 30 supply, but as I mentioned before, it's now applicable to Nicoract as well. Pushing up a ramp into tanks is not easy. It is not going to be easy, but there's only one tank. Well, there's only one tank. The tank does go down. Planetary holds on. Well, that's another tank falling. And BabyMarine, he does reposition, does rotate around. Now, Nicoract, he needs to trade. He does need to trade. He has to make use of that greater army. For now, BabyMarine, he's catching up in supply. BabyMarine, he is catching up. Nicoract rotating over, looking for another way in. Center tower's finishing up. And we're stabilizing. We're getting there. We're stabilizing at this point. Nicoract will be up a base, and he does have the better economy, that is true. BabyMarine is holding his own, and he did retain a lot of his Ravens. Getting back into Raven production. It's going to be 5 Ravens here for BabyMarine. He's down in tanks, but the Ravens do make up for that. As Nicoract is still sharking around. It looks like Nicoract is hoping to catch the army out on the map. Which does make sense, but BabyMarine, he's not taking that chance. He's taking another base, taking another expansion. We're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna wait. Strap yourselves in, Bobby. Strap yourselves in. We're hunkering down. We're taking another base. Once again, we have the high ground. We have a very defendable location. It's very difficult to push up a ramp into this location, into this base. And Nicoract is gonna try. His army is revealed. BabyMarine does rotate. And we cannot push into this. No shots. Not against this many tanks. Get within range of the turret or the tower. But this is why GoldenEra is so... We see a lot of late game on this map. The reason for this, ramp coming into the third, ramp and choke point coming into the fourth, ramp coming into the 5th base as well. Like, these are very defendable and very difficult to push into. These low ground bases are more exposed, and that's where kind of the major fight's going to be occurring. Speaking of, the main armies do clash. And massive disables here. Every tank is disabled. Oh my god! Nicoract, he gets caught out, and we're going to lose every single tank, every single Marine as well. This was not the fight to take. The power of the Raven coming in clutch for BabyMarine. Nicoract, just like that, does lose map control. It doesn't look like he was expecting a fight out on the map like that. And the base is going down, and BabyMarine very quickly snowballing out of control, pushing towards that 4th. Going for a Doom Drop. Oh my god. We do have a couple of turrets, but not too many. Viking does arrive. We do drop in. Yeah, we're going for the kill. We're going for the production. Massive drop into the main base. The tanks do siege up. GG gets called. We go for the kill move. As Nicoract was getting into BC production, but no BCs available. And BabyMarine, he brings it back. He will be your new King of the Hill. GG. Whew. A very intense game. A very intense game. I was getting ready to just, like bring up my feet, get ready for a longer back and forth for a split map scenario, but no, BabyMarine, once he maxed out, he went for the kill, he went for the fight. Able to make use of those Ravens. Again, as a reminder, Nicoract, he was teching into BC production. He had extra starports finishing up. Yamato was on the way. We were working towards battle cruisers, which is the ideal in the late game, but we weren't quite there yet. And again, Nicoract, he was not quite ready for a fight in the middle of the map. Not quite like that. Was caught out. GG. GG, well played. BabyMarine will take it. But a shout out to Nicoract, because even though he goes down here, it was an amazing game. It was very back and forth. And also, we had a very nice performance from Nicoract as well, having a very, very long win streak, more than any other player so far. So no shame in that. GG, well played. His run does end, and the king is dead. All hail the new king of the hill. Let's go. All hail the new king of the hill. It is going to be BabyMarine advancing on. And the question becomes, who is his next opponent? God damn it. My apologies. Oh, it's going to be a rematch. Okay, if you were here earlier this morning, you would have been here when we casted ESL Open Cup Americas. And during that event, we did actually showcase these two players in a best of 3. It was a very intense best of 3. It did go the way of the Zerg. We'll see if BabyMarine can get his revenge. I was alluding to that series earlier. It is going to be BabyMarine versus Mixu. Let's go. Again, Mixu did 2-0 BabyMarine in ESL Americas, but that was a best of 3. This is a best of 1. It is going to be the best of 1 instead. Let's go. Catching up. Oh, my grapes. The grapes, man. BabyMarine is also Rainer's younger brother. He is. It's his younger brother. True, true. Since Nicoract is the young goats. Ah, not wrong. What time is the tournament today? Yes, it did begin a couple of hours ago. Just under 2 hours ago. The Marines are just babies, papi. Ah. Oh, the rhymes. Calm down, Cyberjump. Calm down. But looks like our players just conducting their vetoes and getting their first map ready for us. We are going to be jumping into our next TVZ. Again, it is going to be that rematch. Let's go. Let us go. And as a reminder, again, it's going to be Challenger picking the map. So Mixu, he's going to be rising to the challenge. It is going to be his map of choice. And I'm curious if we load into Post-Youth once again, or if we go into a bit of a different direction instead and go for a different starting map. We'll see. We shall see. As a reminder as well, we are almost 2/3 of the way through the broadcast. We're here in match 9, and there are 15 matches in total. 15 best of ones. We haven't doubled up yet, but if we do run out of players, then we can revive some players. We could see a return of NightPhoenix, we could see a return of Nicoract. It is possible if we eventually run out, but we still haven't gone through a lot of the even Polish Protoss players. I'm referring to Ziomek, I'm referring to Rodzin, Bappy even, Geralt as well, Art, the other Art, all the arts. So we still have a lot of Protoss players lying in wait, I'm sure. Likewise, we also have players like Young Yakov, or potentially Wayne, potentially Max Pax as well. We'll see who comes out of the woodwork. See who does come out. I'm calm as I can be, being in a heat wave. Yo, I'm so celoso. It's so cold here in Australia. It's freezing. It's been a problem. It was not this week. Last week I was trying to ladder. Like every single ladder session that I had last week, I could barely, like, it hurt to macro. Like it hurt to use my fingers. Like it was just so cold. My fingers are freezing, papi. So I hope you're enjoying the heat elsewhere in the world. As it looks like we have our lobby of choice. Did just need a moment to set up, but looks like we have our lobby, and we're going to be loading into Site Delta. Let's go. Are going to be loading in. Oh, true. Don't forget to hydrate. The cold weather is causing internet problems. Copium. Yes, don't forget to hydrate, drink plenty of water. And of course, posture check. Posture check in the chat. We are jumping in. We're getting to our next game. Here we go. Predictions in the chat. They are now open. Place your bets on who you think will be our next King of the Hill. Is this the beginning of a win streak for BabyMarine? Or do we go back to the back and forths that we had previously and kind of trade that crown around and don't let it settle? Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Site Delta, we have the Finnish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Berserker Esports. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Terran player, the red Terran, representing himself, the current King of the Hill. It is BabyMarine. Let's go. A very intense TVT earlier. Now we can calm things down a little bit here in the early game of TVZ. Now BabyMarine, he does have quite a bit of experience now. Recent experience with Mixu. I'm curious if BabyMarine is going to try to adapt, try to adjust against his opponent. As I'm getting a bit of deja vu because these two players did play on this very map. Did play earlier today on Site Delta. Let us go. As for now, it is going to be a hatch gas full standard opener from our Zerg player. Likewise, BabyMarine back at home going for the Rax expand. Nothing too crazy here in the early game. No proxies, no 2-action Reaper, no gas first. We're just kind of easing our way into our Terran versus Zerg. Now, what we did see out of Mixu throughout the course of this morning in a multitude of TVZs that we did see him in was just Ling Bane play. We saw Ling Bane into Ultra, Ling Bane HiGhDrA, into Lurker Tech as well. Didn't really see Mixu embrace mutas too often, or at all really. I mean, muta play can be quite difficult in this matchup, especially at this level of play. Mutas, again, are ideal as a surprise. Outside of that, they're quite difficult to really gain value and get damage done. So I don't expect anything too crazy, especially on a map like Site Delta. The map is quite wide open, quite large, a lot of attack paths. It's that much easier to get surrounds and to lock down an army. As the first Reaper does make its way across the map. Likewise, drone is in position, Mixu ready to expand. The dance between the Reapers and Lings has begun, and we do pick away one Ling, not bad. One Ling does fall, third base has been thrown down, and Mixu will defend with his queen. So not a bad pickoff out of BabyMarine, getting a Ling. Oh, going for the tumor! Doesn't quite get it. Tumor does survive. Behind this, a third CC is on the way. It's going to be a third CC before Starport. Very economic follow-up here out of BabyMarine. It's going to be very economic. Getting into his 1-1-1. Now from here, we can go into Banshee play, we can go into Liberators, into Vikings. Ooh, the tumor does go down. Nice movement here out of BabyMarine. He does escape. Gets the tumor, gets the hell out of there. Does manage to escape. And we'll see what BabyMarine does go for, as he is going for the Tech Lab. We are set up for an add-on swap. Tech Lab is done, add-on swap is on the way, and we headed into Banshee production. So just pretty standard play, 3cc Banshee out of BabyMarine. With this, he will have Hellions to gain map control and to delay the creep spread, of course. Likewise, Banshees can threaten the natural, can threaten the mineral lines. Can threaten the economy here of Mixu, and likewise shut down Roach play as well. Meanwhile, as BabyMarine is being active as he's threatening a dive, we do have a big Ling counterattack. Uh-oh. Yeah, the Lings are set up. There's not much of them to defend. Hellions are about to pop out, as they're revealed here to the Queens. Yeah, Lings, they pull the trigger. They head into the main. Yeah, they get the Marine. Marine goes down. We get a full scout as well. We get eyes on the Banshee. We don't get much else. The Hellions will defend, but that does pull back the Terran. Forced to defend back at home. It's forced back for a moment. Mixu, meanwhile, going for a lair first. Rushing into a lair, followed by, I was going to say Bailey Nest. There we go. Bailey Nest also on the way. Very safe opener here out of Mixu. Not rushing into Evo chambers, not rushing into upgrades. Going for the lair, into bailing speed, into the mid game. Easing his way in. Likewise, BabyMarine throwing down extra Rexes, landing his third base. We'll keep it out. Back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the stream going down. Again, our stream has been going down on a daily basis here. It's becoming really sad. God, feels bad, man. Feels bad. So yeah, unfortunately, our internet has been quite unstable, and so far, I mean, it isn't like we like the ping spikes or anything like that. It's just the internet turns off. The internet turns off, then it turns back on a couple of minutes later. Has been happening every single day for the past week. Feels bad, man. And hopefully the stream is stable and it doesn't go down from here. Hopefully we're able to conclude the broadcast. As it happened off stream, Mixu did bring down his opponent, did bring down a BabyMarine. And now we have our new King of the Hill spawning in the bottom right hand corner. We have our Finnish Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Berserker Esports. Our current King of the Hill, it is Mixu. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of the UK, playing Zerg off racing, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Eva. Let's go. Predictions in the chat should be open. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold. Who will be the next King of the Hill in this ZVZ? Again, Cosmic Sapphire, it has been quite some time since we have embraced this map. It's been a number of years, and I'm ready. I'm ready to embrace it. It is known for its macro play, but in a ZVZ, that I'm not so sure about. We do have a narrow choke point coming into the natural, so we can wall up on two bases, but we'll see how both Eba and Mixu do respond. For now, Hatch Gas Pool all around. Hatch Gas Pool all around. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do about the internet and what's been going on. That's Smurge, Patty, Smurge. We'll see. Hopefully tomorrow we can have a technician coming down, and hopefully they can resolve the issue. I'm a little bit anxious that they're not going to be able to, and they're not going to know what's wrong, and we just have to deal with it. And yeah, feels bad. We'll see though. We'll see. Oh, we'll see what happens. So now we're settling in. Again, it is going to be a Hatch Gas Pool out of Eva, standard opener. Likewise, the same can be said for Mixu. And from here, we can calm things down and get into our two-base setup. are going to be settling things down. Link is moving out. We have Link speed on the way. We pulled out of gas. Again, just being as efficient as possible, making sure we can head into our third bases. We're not going to be walling up. We are indeed expanding. Third base is on the way for Eba. Likewise, third base is on the way for Mixu standard openers for the time being. Settling into our standard openers. Links are going to be moving out. Again, just scouting each other, making sure that we're not skipping Banelings, we're not going into roach play, we're not heading into any hidden tech. Making sure that we are indeed expanding. We get eyes onto the third base. So a nice scout from both Eba and Mixu. We need to confirm. Just responding. As of for now, we're going to be embracing our Banelings. Again, no one is skipping any tech. No one is rushing into roaches. Speaking of, Roachborn now going to be thrown down for Eba. And Mixu will get a full scout for the most part. We're going to read what's going on. Slipping into the main. Likewise, Roachborn on the way for Mixu as well. We're calming things down, and we're going to be looking to try to skip the Lingbane phase of ZVZ and head into the Roach v Roach. We're at least headed in that direction. We can see Eba making some safety Banelings back at home. Meanwhile, Mixu is droning. Mixu is happily droning up. Not making any Banelings not making any Banelings yet. So we are still building up. And we're just droning. You know, it's been a while since I've seen a ZVZ quite like this, where we just kind of chill. We're just chilling, we're just chileno. We know we're joining up on 3 bases, we're not really embracing any fast aggression, any fast roaches, any lings, nothing of the sorts. We're just kind of, yeah, settling in. Settling in, calming down, droning up, getting into +1 range from the side of Mixu. Upgrades are going to be a little bit delayed for Eba. Both players working towards their lairs, and both players working towards the roach phase of ZVZ. Okay, let's go. Let's and we'll see how we do deviate from here. Again, Mixu will have that upgrade advantage and can make use of that quite nicely. Likewise, Mixu has the roach speed advantage as well, as the lair is about to finish up. So Mixu, he is slightly ahead in multiple aspects when it comes to the roach v roach. The advantage that Eba has at the moment is still just saturating his base and still just droning up. It is a small window that we can make use of. Oh, the Banelings, they bottle in! No! Ooh, massive connections. Banelings, they hit the mineral line, and just like that, Eba takes a massive economic loss. Massive economic deficit. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, across the map, Mixu, all we have to do is build up and defend. A Spire is on the way. I feel like it's a little bit unnecessary. We're very nicely lined up to head into roach play, but the Spire is on the way nonetheless to get a handful of mutas for map control. Working towards a longer game. Meanwhile, Eba going for some drop play. We have Banelings in production, but the Overlord is about to be spotted.
Under attack.
Yeah, big scout here from Mixu. He gets eyes on the drop lord, gets eyes on the Banelings as well. Mixu is somewhat aware. And he is getting in position. Yeah, Spore Crawler, Queen as well. We are getting ready. Job does hit the third. Oh, slipping in. Up! Oh my god. As we're headed for the mineral line, and alas, Mixu does respond in time. He does pull away. Oh my god, the Banelings, they crash in, and we get 4 drones and barely 6 drone kills towards the end. That's an okay trade. 6 workers for 4 Banelings. It's okay. Does deal a blow here to Mixu, but here we go. We're now moving out with our roaches, and the mutas are about to pop as well. Mutas are soon to arrive, and we have not been able to scout. We are not ready. We are not aware. Mutas are moving out. At the same time, Mixu just distracting, keeping Eba busy. Keeping him pinned with his roach movement. Likewise, Spine Crawler is being thrown down as well. We're getting ready for the counterattack again. Because Mixu is investing into all these mutas, he will be behind in roaches. He's getting ready for that kind of... Ooh, he's getting ready for that setup. Getting ready for the counterattack, and here we go. Eba does pull the trigger. Mutas have been revealed. Oh, the Mutas weren't able to do much. They're hunting down Overlords. At the same time, Eba, he commits across the map. He's going for the 4th base. Does zone away the Roaches, but the Mutas, they collapse on top of the Ravagers. Yeah, the Ravagers are going to be targeted. The Spine Crawlers, they finish up just in time. Yeah, the Spines are ready. The Mutas, they're going ham. The Roaches are barely breaking through those Spine Crawlers, but do we have enough Roaches? It's a question. Can we get into the mineral lines? Our boys are being pulled. Pull the boys for a moment. We do end up losing 3 of them. And we're running out of steam. We're running out of Roaches. The Mutas, they reign supreme. They shut down all the Roaches. They will clean them all up. And Mixu defends, only losing 4 drones. Very nice defense here out of Mixu. And now we're going for a massive counterattack. And again, Eba was not ready for this. He was not set up. Is now making HiGhDRAs. HiGhDRA is done. HiGhDRA has completed. We're going for the queens though. Oh, we're going to get 1 queen. There's 2 left. Well, now 1. All the queens go down. Boys are being pulled. The Mutas, they can try to evacuate and hit the main, but no, they're going for the Spore. Oh my god. They get the Spore Crawler, and Eba just cannot keep up. Not with this army, not anymore. There are a handful of HiGhDRAs, but we've lost control of the 4th base. And we just keep pushing in. Yeah, picking up more HiGhDRAs, picking up more Roaches. The Mutas pulling away, going for the main. And not quite collapsing on that Spore. Not yet. Mixu still rallying across the map, but there we go. He does fix his rally. He does pull away. Doubling down on Mass Muta. Going Muta Roach, catching more reinforcements, keeping Eba busy. Meanwhile, he's just building up back at home. Catching more HiGhDRA reinforcements. And Eba's going to be stuck defending. Like, with this kind of composition with HiGhDRAs, we have to get into Spore production, resaturate our base, get into Lurkers, and get into HiGhDRA Lurker Viper. It's a very slow defensive style here from Eba that we have to embrace against Muta. It's not easy to pull off. We did catch some of the Mutas, though. Not bad. Some of the Mutas are caught out. At the same time, Roach, as they go for a bit of a run by, a bit of a waddle by. Not getting much done. I say that, some drones are now going to be going down. Likewise, Mutas in the main, they denied the Lurker Den! Brutal pick off. Lurker Den goes down. Oh, for 2 Mutas. Oh, for 3! For almost 4 Mutas. Not bad. HiGhDRA reposition. Hitting another Muta. 5th Muta goes out. 6th! Oh my god, 6 Mutas do fall. Expensive losses there for Mixu. Back at home, we're getting back into a ground-based army. We're building up Roaches, building up Lings. It's not about the Mutas, not anymore. Now it's about the Roach Ravager. And we're going to be committing in. Oh, but we do get a surround on Mixu's army. Eba, he can actually clean this up. Yeah, wild move here out of Mixu. It's not going to pay off. We bleed out too many Roaches. We shut down the Mutas. And the advantage that Mixu once had isn't really there anymore. You won't get the base. Mixu does have the economic lead, and Mixu is not taking into HiGhDRA Lurker. So it's going to be HiGhDRA Lurker Viper from Eba. Meanwhile, Mixu just working with Roach Ravager. So suddenly Mixu has the tech lead. Sorry, Eba has the tech lead. The others are clear. You know what I mean. Eba has to take advantage. Ling run by into the natural. Does get a couple of workers. One drone goes down. At the same time, Roaches, they try to hit the 4th base. Getting on top of the Lurkers. We got 1 Lurker. Ooh, just the 1. The base does survive. Melees roll in. Up. Oh my god. Melees, they roll in. We got 6 drone kills, and we're not done. We're making our way into the main. At least trying to. Well, we're getting there. We'll get the detonate. Oh, never mind. Detonation's a little bit lackluster in the main base. The mass Roach does hit the 3rd. Once again, trying to brute force that way through, but the Lurkers are buried. And you can see that Mixu is being forced to tech. He has to then throw down the HiGhDRA Den. He has to tech into his own Lurkers. Roaches, they hit the 4. Nice Roach Raptor going for the third base. Running into so many lurkers though. Oh my god. A lot of roaches go down. Not the cleanest trade. But with the help of the Ravagers, it looks like we can barely hold our own. And again, Eba has been stuck defending this entire time, and he's slowly building up a higher and higher mute account. Mute account? A lurker count. The lurker count is building up. Mixu going for the gold. They're still trying to pull Eba apart. As the game goes on, it's getting better and better for Eba though. As the lurker count is getting higher and becoming that much more difficult to break. Oh! We're taking a lot of hits. Eba repositioning. Is going to be repositioning here, rotating over towards the left-hand side. Vipers are on the way, a Hive Tech on the way here for Mixu. He's still catching up. Like again, Mixu might be maxed out, but the soup does lie. This is inflated supply with Roach Ravager. Eba has the more efficient army. And Mixu can't really make use of this. Despite being maxed out, the army can't do much. As Eba's slowly remaxing, slowly rebuilding. Mixu trying to get into his own lurkers, is attempting to. We're still a ways off, as we're behind in the upgrades. Going for the hatchery! Not bad. Hatchery gets sniped. Nice pick off here out of Mixu. Let's snipe the hatchery. They go for the natural. Getting a couple of drones, getting whatever we can, even catching queens! Not bad! 2 queens go down, we get a lurker as well. Eba, he's getting pulled apart. Mixu, he's barely pulling this off, busting into the natural base, getting to the mineral line, drones are going down. Eba, he was so close to maxing out, he was so close to stabilizing, but he's not there, not anymore. We clean up almost every single lurker. We're down to 2. Well, 3 lurkers here in this position, I should say. But Eba got sunk down to 53 workers. He gets sunk down to 3 bases. We have Vipers, but barely an army to work with. And behind this, Mixu's on a gold. He has map control, he has a gold base. Mixu can afford these trades. And finally, Mixu is making his own HiGhDRAs and getting ready for his own lurker tech. And Eba's all in. At this point, we're completely all in. We're going for a massive counterattack. It's all or nothing for Eba. It's all or nothing, Papi. I mean, we have a lot of potential with this force. It's going to be how many lurkers? 6 lurkers now. 6 lurkers for Eba. We got on top of the base. Hatchery's going to go down. But Mixu does fan out. Getting ready for a surround for a sandwich. Lurkers are pushing in. Do we have a fungal available? Oh, getting ready for the flank. Now with these Vipers, we can throw down Blinding Clouds, so Eba can out-trade Mixu. Ooh. Yeah, we do shut down the detection. Forcing Eba back home. Can we get the base? It's so low! We can. The hatchery, it's barely gonna go down. And we force Eba all the way back home. Just getting dragged out of position. At the same time, lurkers are slowly pushing forward. We get the Blinding Cloud. But the fungal does connect. Do we have another Blinding Cloud? We don't. Oh, we did, but alas, we get on top of the lurkers. So many lurkers go down. We do focus on 2 of those Vipers as well. Nice pickups here out of Mixu. Again, Mixu just catching Eba. Inattentive. Reinforcements on the way. Eba does need some kind of buffer zone for his lurkers. Does need some detection as well. Do you get a yoink? Overseer is not with the main army. No detection. Nice borrow though. Big spine shots going off. But the defensive lurkers have arrived. We're getting within range. The hatchery is under fire. Eba making the best out of this army. Getting the best use out of it as the base does go down, and now we can go for the gold. Eba knocking down base after base here. The gold base is exposed. Here comes the duct. Get a lurker. Likewise, though, the one lurker of Mixu also going to be going down as well. Checking the units tab, Mixu has 0 lurkers. Uh-oh. 0 lurkers left. Eba gaining ground, pushing towards the natural. He's going for the kill move. If he breaks into the natural, that's going to be game. And Mixu cannot allow that to happen. Going for a big counterattack instead. Again, he knows he cannot push into the lurkers. Not like this, not with this army. There are no Ravagers. We have 2 lurkers on the way. Roaches, they do hit the base. Yeah, Eba, he doesn't have any mining, not any, barely has any economy. Ah, the drones! The drones are going down. Likewise, Roach Warren gets sniped. No more roaches here from Mixu. Yeah, just HiGhDrA production and lurkers. As with reinforcements, Eba, he will defend. And now we have access to the main. Lurker den's going down. HiGhDrA den's exposed. Spire as well. Mixu soon he won't be able to make anything outside of Lings. Mixu going for the main army. Does catch the lurkers. No, the lurkers go down. We catch out the lurkers. Viper's coming in. There's only one blinding cloud. And we do reposition. And it looks like Eba, he has done it despite the chaotic nature of this game. Despite being caught out by the mutas, he was able to get into his own HiGhDrA lurker Viper. Mixu, he was late to take into this composition. He was late to catch up with those lurkers, but it was still a very chaotic game. As another base goes down. And now Mixu, he has 0 lurkers remaining. 0 lurkers, 0 Ravagers, just 2 Vipers. Oh! Going for the yoink. Don't get the Viper. Yeah, just barely not. And Eba does leave the natural alone, making his way towards the army. He wants to try to collapse on in. We'll lose another lurker. But GG gets called. It becomes too much, and Eba, he will barely take the game. And Eba is our new King of the Hill. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Eba will take it. A very chaotic, very back and forth game there. When I saw the mutas wreaking havoc and killing bases and getting mineral lines, I thought it was over then and there, but no, Eba was able to stabilize, get into his own lurker tech. But even with Eba taking into lurkers, there was a moment where Mixu was able to snipe bases, snipe mineral lines. He was still able to pull Eba apart. The lurker count wasn't high enough to defend all the bases, but it was high enough to move out across the map and to engage with the main army. That Eba could do, and he made use of his army quite well there with his lurkers and his Viper tech, of course, as well. GG. GG. GG, well played. Eba will take it, and just like that, we have a new King of the Hill, but we're not done. We are not done. We still have plenty more matches ahead of us, and the question becomes, who is our next challenger? Who's coming up next here against the new King of the Hill? Who is it going to be? Eba, he's messaging me. He's like, mate, I did not deserve to win that game. He's like, I was dead, Papi. No shot. No shot. I'm like, I agree, you were dead. It's crazy. Crazy, Papi. Eba popping off, bringing it all the way back. And with that, we're getting ready for our next matchup. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be? Are going to be keeping up, and we still have a lineup of players ahead of us, and there we go. I've been seeing him for a while now, but it is going to be our Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands. It is going to be Eba versus HiGhDrA coming up next. Let's go. Is going to be that ZVP question mark? What? So I'm asking Eva something. I'm like, is the Protoss Hopium phase over? Are we done with it? Are we done with the Protoss? Or do we come back to the Zerg? What's going on? Has Eva come back to us? I'm curious. I'm curious what he says. So Eba's saying if he was in shape with Protoss, he would play Protoss, but he hasn't laddered his Protoss for a little bit, so he's not feeling too confident. Eba not feeling too confident with his Protoss at the moment. Otherwise, he would. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. He's gonna be our Zerg player, and predictions will soon be open. They will soon be open in the chat. Oh god. We're getting there. Just catching up. Just catching up. Just kind of waiting for our player to arrive here. Waiting for our player. As a result, we might just go on a short break. Here. When we return, we will have our next series. So don't worry, we shouldn't be gone for too much longer. But once we have our players ready, we'll be jumping into our next match. We are nearing the end of the broadcast. Again, I apologize for the stream going down earlier. I do apologize. Again, the internet has been quite unstable for the past week. I don't know what it is, but specifically for the past week, every single day the stream has been going down. It's been killing us. It's been really rough, especially when it comes to viewership. So feels bad, man. But hopefully it should stand with us. It should be okay. Typically, once it goes down once, it stays on. And we have 5 matches left. 5 best of ones remaining here. Again, we're almost there. Towards the tail end of the tournament. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have our next best of 1. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the break, for the bit of a delay that we had, but we have our next opponent. It is going to be a ZVP between Eva and Rostok. Rostok is going to be stepping up to the plate to challenge the current king of the hill, and we'll see if he can bring it to him. We'll see if he can take that crown for himself. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing CSO Esports. It is Rostok. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of the UK, representing the Platinum Heroes, going for a safe 15-15. It is Eva. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are currently open. They're open for a couple of minutes, so make sure you place your bets while you can as we settle into our best of 1. Oh boy. Again, 15-15 opener here out of Eva. Very safe. The way that this works is that we're able to get our expansion on location without being pylon blocked, without being stopped by the probe. Likewise, we also go for a delayed gas geyser as a result. So with this, link speed is going to be a little bit later, and link aggression is going to be a little bit later as well, which is why just a bit of a safer start from Eva. Meanwhile, across the map, gate expand. Gate expand standard opener from Rostok. We're easing our way into GoldenEra. As a reminder, this map was the Challenger's map pick, map of choice. Loading into GoldenEra here, Rostok is. And I'm curious to see how he does bring this about. Again, it's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks since I've had the luxury of casting Rostok, so I'm excited to see how he does approach this matchup. How he does approach Eba. We go. So now we are going to be calming things down. Soon working towards a tech of choice. Likewise, Eba soon going to be expanding and taking his third. For now, just saturating on 2 bases. Getting his production and getting his tech up and running. And we're settling in. Calming things down here in the early game. Just calming things down. We'll see what kind of tech choice Rostok goes for. The Cybercore is done. And we'd have the pylon further back in the main base. Interesting. I mean, based on the positioning of the pylon, a Stargate would make sense on the right-hand side to move out across the map. Twilight Council could be thrown back a little bit further behind the middle line, but yeah, there it is. It's going to be a Stargate opener here from Rostok. Standard play, should be into Oracles. We could go into a Void Ray or a Phoenix. That is viable. That is an option here for Rostok, but we don't see that too often. We'll see what we go for. As we are going to be rallied towards the third base, Stalker's on the way. We typically wouldn't get a Stalker and a Void Ray as they both have the same role, the role of hunting down the Overlord. Usually it's one or the other. And Eba is rushing into a fast lair. Oh my god, that is an insanely fast lair. Now, because of the delayed gas, we just skipped link speed. We just avoided link speed entirely, so no link speed here from Eba, but we rush into the lair instead. And I'm curious. On the one hand, I would have said that with a fast lair like this, Link Queen NightPhoenix would make sense. But without link speed, now I'm not. Now I can't say that. Gases are being taken. Roach Warren's on the way. So it looks to be a Roach Queen all-in instead from Eba. Very aggressive start here from our Zerg player. Creep is going to be spreading back at home. Rostok, likewise, before he expands, he's going for a very fast Twilight Council. Okay, this is interesting. I want to say this is Glaive Adepts, but this could be Charge as well. Like, we have options with how Rostok wants to approach this. Regardless, also an aggressive build out of Rostok as well. So aggression versus aggression. Who comes out on top? And do we go for the Glaives? Twilight Council is done. Yep, Glaives are on the way, so it's going to be Glaive Adepts out of Rostok. Now, I'm concerned for the Protoss player. I'm specifically concerned by the early Roach production from Eba. Roach Warren is done. And we can embrace those Roaches. Spore Crawlers being thrown down. We have the lair to get into Roach speed. Now what this means is that once we defend against the Glaive Adepts, with Roach speed we can go for a massive counterattack. Ooh, as the Oracle goes down. Massive pickup. The Oracle does fall, only getting 1 drone. We cancel speed. We're going for Spire. Oh, wait. Where are we going? What's going on? We cancel speed. We go for the Spire. We cancel the Spire. We go for speed again. We're a little bit indecisive, but I think a big part of that is because we were trying to get a read on how aggressive our opponent was being, and I do think that Roach speed is a correct call, as we have a massive wave of adepts on the way. Now again, with Roach speed, we can defend and then immediately counterattack, but we'll see how many losses we take. We'll see what kind of damage Rostok can get done. As Roaches are amassing, but we're not at critical mass yet. And the Adepts have arrived. The Adepts are here. We focus on one of the Adepts. Second Adept does go down. We get into the mineral line, but we do pull away in time. And we have a full wall here at the natural. Very nice moves from Eba. He does fully wall off. He does defend. Rostok shading and rotating over towards that mineral line once again. Doesn't commit. And I worry because Roach speed has almost completed. It is almost done. Adept's able to turn the tables for a moment. Eba doesn't chase. We have a HiGhDrA being thrown down, +1 range, droning up, getting into our gases. With this higher tech, with the HiGhDrA, it looks like Eba is going to be going into Roach HiGhDrA and getting into a 3-base economy. Looks like Eba is going to be settling in. As Adepts do shade towards that 3rd base once again. Roaches are in position. Yeah, Eba is ready for it. Does shut it down. Yeah, likewise, we can collapse on top of these adepts, and we're going to clean everything up. A nice clean up there from Eba. Shuts down the adepts, and now we're embracing that HiGhDrA production. Back at home, Rostok is looking quite vulnerable. This is the army. We have a couple of sentries, we have an immortal, we have a couple of soon-to-be charge lots and archons. But Rostok has lost a lot of momentum with that glaive adept push. Just did not do enough damage. As a result, we are vulnerable. Now, despite being vulnerable, we're on Golden Aura, and it's quite defendable here on 3 bases. Again, we have a ramp, and a very narrow ramp at that, so it's very difficult to push up this to break into the 3rd. Likewise, here on the right-hand side, it's also not the easiest to push into the natural on the 3rd base as well. So the defender's advantage is going to be a big factor here for Rostok. Despite that, Eba's moving out. For a moment. Did move out, going to be pulled back by the hallucination. 4th base is on the way. This 4th base is going to be much more exposed. And Eba is hoping for a fight at this 4th location. Out of range of the overcharge with the shield batteries of the defensive position. Rocks are being knocked down. This area is still quite choked up though, and yeah, we have to respect the sentries. Remember, no Ravagers. And we're not going to make any. Eba, he was just posturing. Behind this, he's droning up, getting a 4th base, and that is a Lurker Den on the way. So Eba is taking into Lurker Tech, taking into Hive Tech as well. Just building up towards his final form. Working towards HiGhDrA Lurker Viper. Rostok going for his own move out. Eba is keeping up. Decent force fields where we catch roaches. Not the most impactful pickoff. Likewise, they're getting on top of the high ground. Zelta going down. A couple of Hydras do get caught though. Regardless, the concave is a little bit too good, and Eba will hold. He's going for the prism. Up, doesn't quite get it. Doesn't get the prism, but does get 2 sentries. Not bad. 2 sentries go down. Rostok does establish the 4th base, but now we have the Lurker Den. The Lurker Den is done. The Hive is finishing up as well. Eba is going to be embracing those Lurkers. They're on the way. The Lurkers are morphing in. And Rostok doesn't really have the best answer to this. I mean, he's working towards a higher Immortal-based army, which is going to be ideal against Lurkers, but it's the size of the army that's concerning because Rostok has been on the back foot this entire time because of his more delayed 3rd base, because of the commitment to Glaive Adepts, because of even that move out as well. Rostok is not ready, and Eba is maxed. He's maxed out 200 supply with Lings, Roaches, Hydras, and Lurkers, and we're moving out. Bleeding off some of those Roaches. Still getting his main army ready. Hive upgrades are still on the way. So it looks like Eba is going to hold off. He's going to hold off. Rostok has some time to recover, to build up before those upgrades kick in. But Rostok does not want to move out. Not here, not now. We catch an Archon, we catch a Sentry, 2 Sentries even. Trading out more of these Roaches, which again is a better trade for Eba. War Prism does slip into the main base, but we have Spine Crawlers. Despite that, the Warp In will complete, and we're going for the Lurker Den. Oh my god! We go for the dive, and can we deny the upgrade? We cannot. Seismic Spines does finish up just in time. We barely finished the upgrade. No, the whole position! No! Oh my god. Prism does survive. Barely does escape. And we're just collapsing on top of the army. We have some storms, but where are the Zealots? The Zealots, they're behind the army. Not like this. The High Templar go down. The Archons, the Immortals. And Rostok, he gets completely shut down. We have 1 Archon left and purely Zealots. Meanwhile, on the main base, Hydras are lying in wait. The Prism trying to come in. But we're ready for it. Eba is ready. Eba's maxed. And we should soon be setting up a counterattack. The army does move out across the map, but at the same time, the Prism likewise making its way towards the base, but the Hydras! Oh my god. Hydras are ready. Oh, the prism! Taking a lot of damage, and no, it's gonna go down! Oh, barely doesn't. The queen doesn't chase. Eba gets the expansion. Decent storms on the Hydras. Nice storms here on Eba's army. But we need more than just a couple of storms. As the overcharge is popped. Oh, the concave is brutal. We're getting on top of these lurkers, but the Hydras, they stutter step forward, they focus out the Immortals. We did clean up most of the lurkers, but the Hydras did punish. And behind this, we have a Spire on the way. That's going to be for the potential Sky Toss. Likewise, we're counterattack on the left-hand side. Running past the cannons into the mineral line. And we're getting a lot done. The mineral line is going down, and we want to get rid of these roaches anyway. Roaches are being cleaned up. More lurkers on the way. We get 13 probe kills. And Rostok desperately trying to expand, desperately trying to go for another base, but this expansion is so exposed. It's so vulnerable. Eba hasn't spotted it yet. Is unaware. This ramp is brutal. Take some storms to the face. Eba repositioning. Ooh. Storm once again. Oh my god, massive storm on the army. We blanket the Hydras, we blanket the lurkers, and this base is getting up and running. But it looks like we're still getting damage done. The overcharge does run out. Eba, he holds his ground. Even gains ground. Pushing forward, dragging the army within lurker range. But the Immortals, they do clean up a good amount of lurkers. Oh my god. Oh god, the punish. The punish is real. Claiming another Immortal. Eva's still just rallying across the map. Yeah, Lings have arrived. We're getting to the Immortals. 2 Immortals go down. And GG gets called. It looks like it's just too much damage, and Eba will take the game. Will take down the next challenger. GG. GG, well played. Eba will take it. A very intense game, especially with the initial openers, but in the end, Eba did come out on top. He was able to shut down the Glaive Adepts. With that, Eba was in control of the game. He did have a nice lead and was in the driver's seat for the most part. Rostok definitely had some moments, especially when it came to his Zealot run-bys and Zealot drops, and even some of his engagements with the Lurkers weren't too bad. But Rostok was playing from behind. You know, he was behind an economy, behind a base, and he was playing catch-up for most of that game and was unable to really recover. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Eba will take it. And the question becomes, who's up next? Who is our next challenger? So we are setting up. Now, we were going to be featuring HiGhDrA earlier, and HiGhDrA is still going to be a viable option here. Likewise, I do see NightPhoenix lurking in the chat as well. Oh, Forjumy! I see Forjumy lunking as well. Oh, he's ready. I'm ready for the Eba Protoss and Forjumy Zerg match. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for Forjumy to try to 12 pull Eba. Oh no. Not like this. Not like this. It's gonna happen. The nonsense, man. Time to forfeit. It's not gonna be Forjumy. It looks like we have our answer. We have our next opponent. It is going to be another ZVP, potentially. It is going to be Eba versus UedSoldier. Let's go. But I'm sure Forjumy wants some of that Eba action at some point here tonight. We'll see, we'll see. We'll see if he does arrive. Not the UedSoldier. Oh no. Let's go. Yeah, the ZVPs do continue. Meanwhile, a big shout out to LikeyX in the chat. Oh my god, LikeyX, thank you so much. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 2 months. For 2 months in a row. Thank you. A bit of a newer subscriber. We appreciate the consecutive support. Thank you so much. Greetings from Germany. Oh, greetings. What's that phrase that Forjumy taught me? It was something about the cook. It was like... Forjumy, he was teaching us some very, very important German a couple of weeks ago. Very important. Aye. God. As we're settling into our next game. Getting into our ZVP. I don't remember. It's fine. You're an animal, Jimmy. You're an animal. Aye. Here we go. Looks like we have a map of choice. It's going to be Site Delta as our next game. And if you're in the chat, predictions. Predictions are now open. Get your gamba going in the chat for who you think will claim the series. Who will take this best of one? As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our green Protoss player representing CSO Esports. It is UedSoldier. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. Our red Zerg from the land of the UK representing the Platinum Heroes, the current King of the Hill, with a 2-0 win streak under his belt. It is Eva. Speaking of, Eva is an animal and is moving out with a bit of a drone. Oh no. We're moving out for a proxy hatch across the map. The drone should not be out here. Not at this time. It's too early. It's too suspect. UedSoldier does come in with the probe scouts. We'll try to get a read on what's going on. Looks like Eva is planning to expand back at home. The drone has arrived. And can we get the hatch block? Oh, we don't get it. Oh, the probe is here just in time. And the hatch block is denied. The Nexus goes down. And oh my god, UedSoldier. He's crazy. He's cracked. He denies the expansion again. Hatchery gets thrown down in the main. Back at home, Eva likewise going to be expanding as well. The hatchery is on the way, but we did stumble our way into this proxy hatch, and we weren't able to delay the expansion. And we'll see how Eva makes use of this. Bearing in mind there's no early pool. There's no early spawning pool from Eva. It's just a hatchery, I imagine, designed to disrupt the build of UedSoldier. To force boys off the mineral line, but UedSoldier, he doesn't really react to this, not too hard. He's just going to be mining here in his main and settling into his own build. We are settling in. And I'm curious if Eva will let this finish, and if it does, I'm curious what he does with it as well. I mean, back at home, we have our gas, we have our spawning pool still on the way. Hatchery's taking some damage. And do we let it finish? I mean, at this point, I think we have to. I mean, the spawning pool is about to finish, so we can make use of the larva. Yeah, there we go. We have the cancel. We have the cancel. Like, UedSoldier, he called Eva's bluff and barely reacted, only pulled 2 probes, and will defend. UedSoldier will defend. Back at home, Eva trying to stabilize, joining up, taking his natural. His third base is going to be delayed. And we'll see what kind of game state we end up in. I mean, at least UedSoldier was forced to make a Zealot. True. I mean, there is a Zealot now. Oh, but that's the Twilight Council. That is a Twilight Council on the way. UedSoldier going to be doubling down with the aggression, working towards either Glaives or DTs. We have pulled out of gas. Glaives are on the horizon. 4-gate Glaives on the way here for UedSoldier. Meanwhile, Eva rushing into a 3-minute lair. Oh my god, once again. Fast lair out of Eva. We saw something similar in game number, or in the previous game. Roach Warren's on the way. So once again, Eva will have access to fast Roach speed for a Roach counterattack, potentially. And we at least have the Roach Warren. Meanwhile, that's more gates. This is not 4-gate Glaives. Oh my god. We're getting up to 6 gateways. Okay, we're just doubling down. We're going for a 2-base all-in. Yeah, 6 gates here from UedSoldier. We're pulling back into gas. I was about to say that we can't afford 6 gateways with only 2 and 2. We go back up to 3 and 3 here in the main base. Taking extra gas, going for the Robo, going for the War Prism, potentially Immortal production as well. And UedSoldier's doubling down. Eva going for a ninja? What's going on? Eva, calm down. It's an all-in. We need the reinforcements back at home, Bobby. Oh my god. We have the money for it. I'm waiting to see if Eva... Yep, there we go. He commits to the ninja base. I'm not too sure if this is going to help us much at all. I think it's going to hurt us more than anything. So we're going to need reinforcements as quickly as possible. Here we go. We have a massive wave of adepts on the way. 6 adepts in production. They are warping in. And Eva back at home. Can we keep up with this? We're going to have some roaches on the way. We have roach speed, of course. That's going to be a massive wave of adepts. And Eva, looks like he will confirm. Yeah, he sees all the adepts. Does get eyes on this. As that is 14 adepts already. And remember, we can warp in 6 adepts at a time. Oh boy, that's a lot of adepts, Bobby. That's a lot of adepts. Eva setting up. A roach is on the way. Adepts have arrived. They're checking for the 3rd base. Alas, there is none. That does make it easier for Eva to defend, true. He can split up between his main and his natural. Adepts, they threaten a shade. They check for the 3rd base location. They confirm there's nothing here. It is elsewhere. War Prism is denied. Eva, for now, he's holding on. He's surviving. Adepts, do we commit to the shade? Ooh, not quite. Getting some chip damage on that Roach Warren. Eva started stepping forward, catching a couple of those adepts. UedSoldier doesn't quite commit yet. Prism does overextend. Oh my god! Oh, massive pickoff. The Prism goes down. War Prism does fall, and back at him, UedSoldier, he starts Immortal production. Immortals are on the way, and UedSoldier looks like he's going to be expanding. He does opt to expand. Alas, we still have to keep up with the adepts. We're still stuck at home. Spire is on the way. Oh, the ninja base! Let's go! Going for the hidden spire. Some more adepts are in production. Again, Eva, he wants to break out, but these adepts are keeping him pinned back at home. These roaches have to calm down. Getting caught out by the adepts. Pulling away. Eva trying to split up his forces. Again, moving out while defending back at home. He does get eyes on the 3rd. Oh, just spinning creep a little bit too late. As expansion has been thrown down, but the Spire is about to finish. We're almost there, we're almost done. Getting up to, what, 500 gas. It's going to be 5 meters, potentially 6. That is going to be enough to one-shot pros, more than enough to one-shot workers. UedSoldier is not quite ready for this. Adepts rotating around. Prism has been rebuilt. And mutas are on the way. That is going to be 7 mutas for Eva. And they could attempt to hunt down the Prism first, but they should be going for the Mineral Lines. As, do we have any anti-air? We have 1 Stalker. We have a couple of sentries at the 3rd. Nothing in the main, sorry, nothing at the natural, nothing in the main base either. So this is the anti-air. We have 1 Stalker. We have 5 sentries. Oh boy. We're not ready for this. The mutas, they have arrived. They're headed for the Mineral Lines. Send it, Bappy. Blink is on the way. Shield batteries as well. We hit the natural. Probes are going down, and UedSoldier is all in. It's completely all in at this point. We do catch a muta. Not bad. 1 muta goes down. And it's all or nothing for UedSoldier. And Eva, can we hold? Can we survive? Muta's coming back around. They do turn back. Ideally going for the sentries. Going for the prism. Up! First sentry goes down. We get 1. We get 2. We get 3. Barely 3 sentries as well. And there's just not enough anti-air. We're going for the Prism. The Prism will go down. No more reinforcements. And the mutas survive. Yeah, that just goes to show just how little anti-air there was with the main army. And UedSoldier, he turns around. Oh boy. Oh, there's still nothing in the main. Oh god, there's no cannon, no shield battery. The main base is exposed. Thankfully, we have 3 Stalkers. Thankfully. Stalkers do warp in. Mutas, they don't care about your shield battery. They can one-shot probes. Get another 5 probe kills. Blink is still not done. Oh, we do catch another muta. Not bad. Another muta does go down at the same time. Hallucination across the map. Eva is maxed out on 3-base saturation. We've maxed out on Roach Ravager Muta. So we've actually made a couple of extra mutas. Eva going to be consolidating his army. And this is still going to be a close fight. UedSoldier, he may not have the best economy, but his army size is quite comparable to that of Eva, especially with all these sentries. Oh, the Prism! Oh my god. Prism takes some damage. We pull away. Calm down, Pappy. Calm down. Don't want to lose it again. Ooh, as we force the on siege. File's going to be connecting. Another big warp in. Mutas instead, they go for a big counterattack, going for the main base. And they hit the main at the same time. UedSoldier pushing in, gaining ground, pushing onto creep. Files, they don't quite connect. They connect with the main army. We catch a couple of roaches and ravagers, not bad. Roach Ravager going down, another big wave of reinforcements. Mutas, they have control of the main base. They hit the natural as well. Files are connecting. But do we have enough roaches? Stalkers are gaining ground. Bailings do complete. They're trying to get on top of the Adepts, and they will crash in. Massive connections. But the Immortals are standing strong, and the Immortals, they're breaking through, and it looks like UedSoldier may have too much. He does push towards that natural. Back at home, he's losing everything. Every probe is going down, but it doesn't matter. It's not about the probes. It's about the main base. It's about the main army. Oh, the Immortals, they are looking exposed. And here come the reinforcements. Eva is getting on top of the Immortals. 2 Immortals go down. We're down to 2 Immortals remaining, and it looks like Eva, he has held. We clean up the Prism. GG gets called, and Eva will survive. The hell did I just watch? And take down UedSoldier. GG. GG, well played. Eva will take it off of a kind of failed proxy hatch initially into a ninja base with a hidden spy. There was a lot that went on in that game. There was a lot that went on, but GG. GG, well played. Eva will take it and will remain the king of the hill. GG. GG, well played. Eva will take it. Oh my god. So apparently UedSoldier beat Cyril recently. Eva, he's imparting a bit of a story on us. Apparently UedSoldier, he beat Cyril in the ladder with Nexus first into 6-gate Glaive Adepts, which is similar to what we just saw. True, is similar. And Eva, he's like, okay, so what if I block the hatchery, block the Nexus? As we saw, it didn't quite work. The Nexus wasn't quite blocked, so then Eva improvised, is basically what he's saying. He failed to block the Nexus, so he improvised from there. He let Papi take the wheel. He cooked, Papi, he cooked. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We're getting ready for our next series here. Who is our next challenger going to be? Who's up next? Who is up next? I thought I overcooked. Oh, almost overcooked. Here we go. We are getting ready. And we're kind of running out of matches here. There's not too many more series ahead of us. We are nearing the end, and it looks like we have another Protoss opponent. It is going to be Eba versus HiGhDrA. Eba versus HiGhDrA in the next series. Let's go. Looks like HiGhDrA has chosen his map, and we're going to be loading into Oceanborn. We actually haven't casted a game on Oceanborn tonight. It's been, we've been featuring some of these other maps instead. Post Youth, Side Delta, even Eternal Empire, Cosmic Sapphire, but yeah, for the first time here tonight, Oceanborn. Let's go. Unless I'm forgetting, which is possible. It's been a long night. It's been a long broadcast. I say long broadcast, around 3 or so hours. But we have our 13th best of 1. And 2 more left after this. We're almost there. As predictions are now open in the chat, place your bets on who you think will claim this series. Who will claim this best of 1? As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player from the land of the UK, the current King of the Hill with 3 wins under his belt. It is Eba. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands. It is HiGhDrA. Not to be confused with the other HiGhDrA, the Korean Zerg HiGhDrA. It's all good. Here we go. We were going to be featuring HiGhDrA earlier, but was otherwise preoccupied. But now we do have him before us. Have him raring and ready to go. For now, going for the hatch block across the map. Forcing the unnatural natural. And HiGhDrA's more known for his aggressive style and his aggressive tendencies, and I'm curious if we're going to be embracing that here in this series. I mean, we already saw a wild build last game with 6 Gateclave Adepts. Can we top that? Can we even get near to that? Let's go. 8 Gateclave Adepts. Let's just double down. Keep going. More gateways, more Adepts. As behind this, Eba just going hatch gas pool. With the unnatural natural. Likewise, HiGhDrA going for a gate expand back at home. Nothing too crazy. Standard openers for the time being. Openers are going to be standard. And we'll see what direction HiGhDrA takes us in. We have seen a lot of fast lair builds out of Eba here tonight against both of his Protoss opponents. Fast layer into a Roach Warren. We'll see if he does embrace that here again, if it's not a Stargate opener. Big yip on that one. As the pylon is done and we're getting ready for our tech of choice. Warp Gate is on the way. Oh, there we go. There's the cancel on the Warp Gate and we throw down the Stargate. So it is a standard opener here out of HiGhDrA, going for a Stargate. Getting into Oracles, I imagine. Into map control, into a third base. We'll see if HiGhDrA does throw down an earlier Twilight Council for a faster Glaive Adept build. That is still on the table here for HiGhDrA. Is it still available? As he does move out. Threads the mineral line. And, oh, doesn't quite get the drone. Barely not. Well, we'll pick off a Ling. Not bad, getting 2 Lings even. 2 Lings go down, Adept does retreat. Shading in towards the main. Just making sure we get a scat off, making sure we get eyes on any extra gases. Any shenanigans on the way. Another Adept has arrived. The Lings are going to be able to punish this at least a little bit, getting some hull damage. Solid movement here out of HiGhDrA. Does preserve the Adepts, gets the hell out of there. Behind this, Oracle's on the way. And we should be expanding. Here, third Nexus, now going to be thrown down. we are going to be settling into a longer game. Calming down, we're settling in. Oracle making its way towards the third. Queens are in position. We have 2 queens at the third base. Likewise, we have soon to be 2 queens in the main. Spore does finish up in time. And we have the tools to defend against the Oracle. Despite that, we get 1 drone kill. Just the one. 1 drone goes down. Back in the main base. Getting into it additional Oracles. Likewise, Lings, they will threaten the third, but we have it up in position, so the third base is safe and sound. And it looks like we are not going for any kind of fast tech. We're not rushing into Glaives, we're not rushing into Blink. We're playing macro. Okay. For the first time tonight. Yeah, let's go. I'm ready for it. I'm going to say that I guess the TVT that we had earlier did go into a 4-base setup, but it was a very chaotic game. Despite that, very aggressive. As the Depths shade into the main, they do wreak havoc from the high ground. At the same time, Oracles try to hit the third. But the Queens are in position. The Oracles are zoned away. And the Depths don't get much done. They get 2 drone kills so far, but not much more than that. Well, they do shade into the natural, though. Oh! Getting an extra drone. Getting 2. Getting 3. Eba a little bit distracted, a little bit inattentive. We get 5 drone kills. Not a bad trade here from HiGhDrA. I'm sure was hoping for a little bit more. 4 depths for 5 drones. And back at home, that is going to be +1 and Blink. Working towards the mid game. We're done with the Adept aggression. And at least the Oracles did survive. Meanwhile, back at home, Eba taking a 4th base, droning up, taking into Roaches, into the almost said Forge, into Evo Chamber. To upgrades. I guess the next big sign for me is to keep an eye on HiGhDrA to see if he does take extra gases, if he does go for a 4th, or if he doubles down on a 3-base all-in. So Oracles, they hit the natural base, and they do get a lot of drone kills. The Queens are out of position. And just the 1 Queen, 5 more drones go down. Queens are here at the 3rd base instead. Not bad. And that is a gateway explosion. Oh my god. That's a lot of gateways. But it looks like we're not going to be doubling down. Okay, we have a gateway explosion just for SimCity. We have extra gases on the way, and we're taking up. That is a 2nd Forge, 2nd Robo. The Bay is on the way as well. So HiGhDRA's just walling up and securing himself. Most likely he'll be skipping some warp ins and taking a 4th base and working towards upgrades, disruptors, Colossus. Strap yourselves in. Stalkers are moving out just for some map control. They're poking in. Vying for that creep. Keeping Eba pinned back at home. Has to be very careful not to get surrounded. Stalkers do back off. Meanwhile, Eba is just taking up. He's taking up in towards a hive. We have the infestation, we have the lurker den, soon to be hive tech, soon to be hive tech lurkers as well. Eba is also getting to its final form. What I will say about HiGhDrA as he's getting into double Colossus production is this 4th base does feel quite late. The fourth base does feel a little bit delayed here for the Protoss. Speaking of delay, we're gonna get a surround. We force a cancel. An even greater delay on this 4th. Aye. So HiGhDrA doesn't have his cleanest way into a longer game. Is working on it. But because of this, Eba is going to be able to get into his hive tech. Spinecrawl is being thrown down, soon to be a 5th base. Lurker Den about to finish. And here come the first wave of lurkers. Are on the way. Likewise, HiGhDrA is still not expanding. Okay, so I guess we are going for a committed move out. We're waiting for the 3rd and 4th Colossus, and we can move out with 4 Colossus. This is a little bit old school. We saw this be quite popular last year, like early 2023, even 2022. But Showtime and many of the other Protoss players in the altitude map pool were embracing this kind of slower style where you build up on 4 Colossus and move out across the map. This did fall out of favor just because of how common this was. Very often, Zerg players would rush into Hive and specifically rush into Vipers to deal with this. But HiGhDrA playing old school, moving out across the map. Does attempt to push in, but the lurkers are ready. We have our lurkers. HiGhDrA rotating over towards the right hand side at the same time, so run by pushing towards the left. But roaches are in position. Okay, the roaches, they will shut down the zealots at the same time. We're gaining ground. Attempting to get on top of those lurkers. Speaking of Vipers, there it is. The first Viper is on the horizon. Viper's on the way. And with the help of the Viper, we can shut this down. But we do need a little bit more time. So far, good swipes. Bloodlings are falling. One lurker does fall as well. At the same time, Ling Rumbai doesn't get much done. Eba trying to cash out the army. Trying to set up a surround. So far is keeping up. It's only going to be... we have a second Viper on the way. We're gathering energy. Oof. One lurker almost goes down the transfuse. Oh my god, barely keeps it alive. But the Colossus, they do take the fight. Shutting down a lot of those HiGhDRAs. At the same time, Eba trying to set up a surround. Oh, but this is going to be a little bit awkward. The Lings are going down. Roaches as well. We do get on top of some of those Colossus, though. Colossus and the Immortals. But that was a rough trade for Eba. Again, that surround was a little bit mistimed. But we have Vipers. We have Vipers. And can we go for the yoinks? Not quite. Not quite. It looks like HiGhDrA may just have too much. We get on top of the lurkers. They're all going to go down. The Vipers, they're too little too late. The lurker count is cleaned up, and it looks like HiGhDrA is going to do it. Eba, he was on an insane win streak throughout the course of this tournament, but alas, it ends here and now. GG gets called, and HiGhDrA will take the game and become our new King of the Hill. GG. GG, well played. Very patient play there out of HiGhDrA. Sure, he didn't have a fourth. Sure, he was basically 3 base all in. He had a 4th Nexus on the way, but no saturation at the 4th base. It was all about that 4 Colossus move out. It was all about the army movement and the army control. And as we saw, Eba just barely wasn't ready in time. The attempted surround was lackluster. It was a little bit brutal there. Being caught out. Likewise, the Vipers were a little bit too late. We spoke about it, but if we had Vipers a little bit earlier, or if we were able to buy a little bit more time, then we would be able to shut that down. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Ooh. Oh. GG, well played. HiGhDrA will take it. And do we have our next opponent? I think we do. I just got messaged by Young Yakov. I think... We might have our next opponent. Oh, my apologies. It's not going to be Young Yakov. Jimmy? Out of left field? With the steel chair? Hold on. Okay, we have our next challenger. Okay. We have our next challenger. It is going to be Forjumy versus HiGhDrA. Let's go. Let us go. But yeah, Eba was just letting us know that he was lamenting a little bit about fighting off of creep. He was like, I just had to be more patient, Papi. It's like, yes, that's he went for the patience move of just moving out. But it's all good. We're jumping into our next series, into our next best of one. Oh, let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire. We have the German Protoss player, the green Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Forjumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player himself, the current king of the hill, bringing down Eva earlier, getting his first win. Can he get another? It is HiGhDrA. Let's go. Let us go. Again, I was thrown for a little bit of a loop because after that win, young Yakov, he messaged me like a bunch of HiGhDrA emotes. And I was like, oh, are we coming out? No, the answer is no. Forjumy instead. He does step into the ring. And we're loading into Eternal Empire of all maps. Now, if you're a bit of a newer viewer of StarCraft, if you're maybe weren't around a couple of years ago, you may be a little bit unaware, but Eternal Empire was a part of the map pool back in 2020, I want to say 2020, coming into the circa of 2021, but many years ago at this point, at the beginning of EPT, Eternal Empire was an active ladder map, and it's been a while. It's been a couple of years since we have been able to embrace this map, but in this tournament we feature an extended map pool. We do have extra maps that are a part of the map pool that players have voted on, players have agreed upon, and this is one of them. Just a way to spice things up, in a way to, yeah, just kind of spruce up the map pool overall. There are some maps that people are not too fond of in the new map pool, so may as well bring in some older maps instead. So a nice compromise here for OSC events. As Forjumy goes for the fake proxy pylon. Now, fake proxy pylons, and I mean real proxy pylons as well, are quite powerful in this map. Eternal Empire is massive. I don't know if you noticed. The mini-map doesn't do it justice, or maybe it does. It's a huge map. There's a lot of bases to take, a lot of space on the map as well. It is difficult to really get eyes on any real or even fake proxy. Pylon is thrown down, and HiGhDrA is aware that the pylon is missing. HiGhDrA is aware, back at home, going for the sentry. It's going to be the initial sentry opener into Stalker. HiGhDrA will deflect, and is looking to expand. Meanwhile, HiGhDrA throwing down the question mark spray. You love to see it. But our players should be expanding, should be working towards our naturals. Likewise, when it comes to how large this map is, it's quite defendable. We have two major Xel'Naga towers that cover the main attack pods as well in the center of the map. Likewise, a very narrow choke point here, plus a ramp leading into the natural, does make it quite difficult to actually push in and to commit to aggression. Does make it difficult for Forjumy, instead rotating over towards the left-hand side, making its way towards the natural. HiGhDrA is in position and does get some extra shots off, and he does punish Forjumy. Oh my god, one Stalker goes down. Second Stalker as well, under fire. Now we are distracting the main army. We're dragging HiGhDrA out of position, and here come the Adepts. The Adepts are sneaking in, but HiGhDrA, he recalls. Recalls back home just in time. Adepts have arrived, but we are ready for it. Are ready. Adepts, they commit to the shade, but we're lying in wait. One probe goes down, we get two. We get three. Not bad. 3 probe kills for 2 Adepts. Not the worst trade out of Forjumy, but what's concerning to me isn't the Adepts, it is the Stalkers. And for Forjumy, he lost the Stalker, he did take a lot of hull damage on the other as well. Back at home, we are expanding, we are settling in. Forjumy going for the faster tech, going for a blink. Meanwhile, HiGhDrA, likewise, one step behind, also working towards that Twilight Council as well. And blink is on the way. We see HiGhDrA fanning out his hallucinations. We have probes, we have phoenixes. Getting a read on what's going on. Again, making sure that there is no proxy. Likewise, we can see, oh god, Forjumy doing the same with his own probe scouts, with his own hallucinations. And so far, our players are being honest. HiGhDrA did miss the third. He didn't quite scout in this direction, and the third base is getting up and running. Forjumy going for a bit of a more macro approach here, taking a faster third base. HiGhDrA not too far behind, though, thinking about his own third. Adepts are being chased down. Shut down the hallucination. Likewise, Adepts are caught out by the Stalkers as well. HiGhDrA is all over this. Gets one Adept and almost the other. We get one probe kill. We shade into the main base. But we get the full surround. This third was delayed by quite a bit from the side of HiGhDrA. It was quite heavily delayed. But at least it's in production. We're getting there. Are getting there. As Forjumy is settling in, has the economic advantage, bearing in mind had a much faster third, is chronoing out probes. And will have that economic lead that will translate into a larger army as well. The pressure is now on HiGhDrA to fight back, to get some kind of economic damage. Again, this entire game, it's been a depth shading into the main base of HiGhDrA, into the natural. It's been Forjumy being the aggressor. And HiGhDrA has been stuck at home. When can we move out? That's the other scary thing about this map is, if you move out, you do leave yourself a little bit vulnerable. I mean, we do have recalls available, true. Could always recall. But it can be difficult here, as Forjumy will take another expansion. We might be here for a while. We might... Oh, no. We've costed many a late game on Eternal Empire. It is eternal. For good reason. Many a late game. We're not there yet, but we're working towards it. That's where Jimmy does rotate over. His army is spotted. HiGhDrA can respond. At the same time, Forjumy sneaking into the natural. He distracts the main army, and the left side do shade in, and they can one-shot probes. They can one... There we go. Getting 1, 2, soon to be 3 probe kills. Not bad. Oh, getting a 4th and a 5th. Yeah, 5, 6 probes go down. Very nice damage. At the same time, Forjumy also hits the 3rd base and is pulling HiGhDrA apart. He's not getting game-ending damage, but it all slowly does add up over time. Forjumy already had the economic advantage and also has that 4th base on the way, so he still maintains that economic lead. And behind this, we have a +2, we have a gateway explosion, immortal production. And from here, we can even work towards a higher form of tech, either Chargelet, Archon, or even into Disruptors. But now it looks like it's going to be Archons. Archons and Chargelets. I mean, it can be risky taking into Disruptors. Not the most stable of units. The most stable of play styles, but that's going to be available here. Meanwhile, HiGhDrA instead working towards Glaives. Building up his Glaive Adept army. Settling back in. I'm not gonna lie, I miss this color scheme. Like, like this map, I'm getting like nostalgia. It's been a while. Like, I'm getting flashbacks of, like, siege lines and, like, Skytos Tempest-based armies. Like, oh, God. The memories. So now we are settling in. Forjumy rotating over towards that northern base. Forjumy does have the slight army lead. Pushing into the shield battery, does have to respect it. Does back off. HiGhDrA in position. Forjumy just testing the waters. Behind this, taking another expansion. +2 is done for Forjumy, so he does have the upgrade advantage. We spoke about Disruptors before, and there it is. Disruptors are on the way. We only have the 1 Robo, so we're only making 1 at a time. But there it is. 2nd Robo has now been thrown down. Getting ready for double Disruptor. HiGhDrA moving out, and does get on top of the Immortal. Yeah, massive pick off the Immortal does go down. And Forjumy has to get the hell out of here at the same time we're going for the drop into the main. The Archons and the Warp in. Speaking of, there it is. And HiGhDrA turns around. He does turn back home, probes are falling. And Forjumy is not punished. Forced to recall. Getting 15 worker kills in the main base. And amidst all this chaos, Forjumy can try to hit another expansion. As Eilte being cleaned up, Archons as well. Forjumy going for the third, gets a shield battery. Not much else. Threatens the base. Oh, gets the prism. Oh my god. Jimmy. It's crazy. Snipes the war prism, snipes the shield battery. And that, I believe, is a third robo. Third robo's on the way, getting into triple disruptor production. And pushing into disruptors is not an easy thing to do, but that is a hefty army. That's a lot of adepts and a lot of immortals. Here we go. HiGhDrA, he's had enough defending. You can see HiGhDrA has a super maxed army, in a sense. Like HiGhDrA, he's down to 44 workers, but he has a massive army supply. Oh my god, but as he moves out, once again he gets punished. Zealots, they hit the natural. The army races back home. Zealots trickling into the main. And the Stalkers, they want that Nexus. It's low. Uh-oh. It's low from earlier. The Nexus is under fire. Can we get it? Oh my god. Not quite. The base does survive. We have cannons in the main. That's going to be HiGhDRA's answer. And Forjumy has done so much to just slow down the push. It's still a terrifying army. It's still 4 immortals. But a couple of good Novas will make short work of this. Forjumy is getting ready. Again, the supply does lie. You can see the supplies are close, but really HiGhDRA has a massive... He's up almost 50 army supply. It's insane. He's all in. HiGhDRA's completely all in. Here comes a Nova. No, the choke point. Oh my god, with the splits. We avoid the Novas. Grazes the army. 2 more disruptors behind this. Another Nova going up. Ooh, will not connect. But you can see massive connections. Oh my god. We shut down the Adepts. We shut down the Immortals. And it looks like Forjumy, he will clean up this army. The power of the Disruptor. The Novas are too good. The Falls, they're insane. They're massive. And Forjumy is popping up. Cleans up the army in a couple of Novas. And he will clean up what little is left. GG gets called, and Forjumy will fight back and be our new King of the Hill. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Insane Purification Novas there out of Forjumy. The first 2 were a little bit lackluster. Like HiGhDRA was able to split, he was able to avoid it. But the next wave, the next set of Purification Novas were insane. And that's the downside of that kind of army composition. Adept Immortal, very immobile. You don't have Blink to avoid it. You don't have the Prism to pick everything up, as there's just so much to pick up. It's just so vulnerable to that kind of style, to that unit. And with that, congratulations, Forjumy does take the win and does take the crown. And now we're getting ready for, oh my god, we are getting ready for our final best of 1. Do need a moment to set things up, but there we go. We have another PvP. We have a returning player. We have 1 revive here, as NightPhoenix was down. He was our first player knocked out of the tournament, knocked out of OSC King of the Hill, but now he has returned. He has returned. Predictions are now open, and we are jumping into our final best of 1. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Ukrainian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Astronaut Esports. It is NightPhoenix. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player himself, the Green Protoss, representing Platinum Esports, the current King of the Hill. It is Forjumy. And I'll get on the name. I'll get on it. Don't. NightPhoenix is a bit of a cat girl. Can confirm. Is an uwu enjoyer, but there we go. Just setting up the UI. Making sure everyone's aware of who's playing. We are settling in. Okay, for now, it's going to be standard openers. What looks to be 2-gate versus 2-gate. But this is going to be the final PvP of the night. The final series of OSC King of the Hill 180. That's a lot of weeks. That's a lot of King of the Hills. That's a lot of StarCraft. Here's a lot of StarCraft. And And there it is. There's the 2 gateways from NightPhoenix, likewise 2 gateways out of Forjumy. Probes are moving out. And we'll see if we commit to any crazy pylon placements. It looks like Forjumy is going to be hiding the probe towards the bottom left. We are going for what looks to be a fake proxy pylon. I mean, this wouldn't be a bad position for a proxy Stargate. We'll keep an eye on Forjumy as the pylon is thrown down. Meanwhile, NightPhoenix slips into the main and will confirm, hold up, where is your second pylon? It should be in the main, and it isn't. I mean, we should be checking further back in the main base. It is not uncommon to hide it here on the right-hand side in the fog of war. Oh no! Oh, we got a surround! We got a full surround. The probe does go down, and NightPhoenix is now in the dark. Uh-oh. Is it a real proxy or is it a fake? Is it a fake? NightPhoenix is unaware. We are going for a double adept opener. Second probe moves out, and you can see here that we are scouting the right-hand side. We're looking for the proxy. Sending out 2 probes even. And this is already a win. This is already a good start for Forjumy. He's forcing 2 extra workers to be pulled off the mineral line. 2 extra workers are scouting and not mining back at home. So a nice start. But it looks like we will end up scouting. We do check the Zonaga, but we don't quite confirm. The probes, they're looking, they're hunting. Meanwhile, back at home, Twilight Council is going to be the Twilight Council for NightPhoenix. Meanwhile, Forjumy is expanding. Uh-oh. And do we commit into a 1-base all-in? Are we going for a delayed expansion, or is NightPhoenix going for a 3rd gateway? Deb say shade into the main. Probes are going down, not bad. We get 3 probe kills. We get 4. We get 5. Oh my god, this is getting a bit out of hand. 5 probes do go down at the same time across the map. We got 2 probe kills as well. Do deal a blow to the economy, but yeah, we're setting up. The probe is in position, and we throw down a proxy pylon. Glaives! Oh, that I was not expecting. NightPhoenix is expanding, but we are committing into Glaive Adepts. Okay. Let him cook. let him cook, Papi. Let him cook. The pylon is going to be thrown down. We're setting up for the proxy. More adepts have arrived. We're getting up to 6 adepts here for NightPhoenix. We've already done a good amount of economic damage. Threatening another shade. We get in! Oh, we barely... No! Oh my god! A bit of a fumble defense there from Forjumy. A lot of chaos ensuing, but we're okay. We're good. We do hold on. Meanwhile, the gateway is on the way. Additional adepts have arrived. And I love that NightPhoenix is staggering his shades. Going 3 adepts at a time. Yeah, just non-stop shades here. And it's going to force the shield battery to finish. Oh! Oh, there we go. We do barely wall off in time. We do cancel just in time. We do manage to wall off. Meanwhile, back at home, are getting to our river production. Glaives is now done. We're diving in. We are pushing forward, getting on top of the sentries, getting on top of the stalkers. We get not even 1 stalker kill. We pop the overcharge, and Forjumy holds. Forjumy does hold. The power of the overcharge does keep us alive, but the shield battery has to finish. Oh, that is a brutal completion there for Forjumy. Shield battery does complete. NightPhoenix is aware. And back at home, I imagine we're going to be working towards immortal production. As adepts, they do threaten another shade. NightPhoenix splitting up his units. We do have some nice force fields, though. Yeah, we shut down the adepts. 2 of them go down. We commit to the shade, but this is not the commitment we were looking for. The shade does finish, and we shut down the adepts. 2 of them barely escape. They barely recall back home. And just like that, Forjumy has a worker lead. He's able to have an army lead. Expanding, taking a 3rd base. Forjumy is looking solid. And he even scouts the proxy. Forjumy is aware. Even catching the stalkers. Stalkers move out. Gateway is depowered. And we do get into the mineral line, getting a couple of extra workers. 3 more probes go down. We get, oh my god, we get into the main! We shade into the main base, and okay, we're making up for it. NightPhoenix may have lost a lot of those adepts, but gets how many probe kills in total? 13. 13 probe kills. For 12 adepts, again, not the best trade. Meanwhile, NightPhoenix going for a gateway explosion. We have 2 extra gateways here on the low ground. We have an extra gateway here on the high ground as well. It is going to be a 2-base, 6-gate all-in. Glaive Adepts, Immortals, and Sentries. Oh boy. It's going to be all or nothing here for NightPhoenix. And Forjumy has to be careful not to be overly greedy, as Forjumy, he's taking into Disruptors. A bold move out of Forjumy. I mean, I kind of like it, and I'm kind of scared of it. On the one hand, if you remember, we spoke about what happened against HiGhDrA. We spoke about the Purification Overs and the Disruptors and how well they performed against an immobile army like Immortal Glaive Adept, right? Like, so Disruptors are going to be ideal. They're going to be ideal against this army just because it's going to be so difficult to avoid those Novas. At the same time, we need time. We need time to get into Disruptor production. Like, we have none so far. Forjumy does blink in, gets punished. 2 Stalkers going to be going down. And Forjumy, he dives into the main. Bold move by Forjumy. He depowers the Robo, getting a 2nd pylon in the main as well. And he gets the hell out of here. The Prism! No! The Prism goes down. Immortal as well. Massive pickoff. Forjumy is trapped. He's going to have to recall back home. But that was some massive damage. The Prism, the Immortal, depowering the Robo, getting a couple of probes and buying time. There's that recall. We got 1 Stalker. And back at home, here come the Disruptors. Disruptors are on the way. That is exactly what we need against this kind of army. Yeah, the Disruptor has arrived. It was a risky move here by Forjumy, but it has paid off. Once again, moving out. He's got eyes on the 3rd. We'll force a cancel, but NightPhoenix doesn't really care about the 3rd base. Now, what I'm concerned about, Forjumy just recalled. Forjumy did just recall, and does he have enough at home to defend? He's racing back. Racing back home. NightPhoenix is pushing in. But we have that Disruptor. And we're setting up a surround. Oh god, we're trying a little bit messy. A little bit messy, but the Nova goes off and we do connect. Nice split there from NightPhoenix, but the Immortal goes down. We have 1 more Nova left. Nova goes off. Yeah, connecting with the Sentry. And we're just picking the army apart. No major connections as the force field. Oh my, the force fields. Oh my god. As we got a very messy engagement. But Forjumy is holding on. Meanwhile, Adepts say shade into the main base. They commit to the shade. Nova does graze some of those Adepts. Saw them go down. Forjumy will defend. Do manage to defend. Behind this, NightPhoenix, the pressure is still on. NightPhoenix still down a base. Attempting to get into his own Disruptor production. The base on the way. Adepts, once again, they threaten a shade. Once again, they get into the main. Oh my god. NightPhoenix popping off. I say that, we do have Soldiers in position. Stalkers are ready. NightPhoenix does rotate. Nova goes off. Oof, big connection. It's whole damage dealt on that Immortal. And we do catch a couple of Stalkers with the force fields, not bad. Uh-oh. The Prism. No! Not again! Oh my god. We go for the dive, we go for the blink. The Prism goes down. The Immortals as well. NightPhoenix being a little bit cheeky with that drop, but he gets shut down. Ay. Forced to recall back home. Forjumy moving out. And it does. And NightPhoenix have enough to defend. We have a Disruptor. We have potentially 1 Nova. But against Blink Stalkers, it's easier said than done to really connect. Catching out reinforcements or catching out the initial army. GG, congratulations gets called as we are too far behind, and Forjumy will take the series, will take down the challenger, and will be this week's OSC King of the Hill. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Forjumy is going to be the last player standing. It was an intense night of StarCraft. I do apologize for the stream going down earlier. For those that are curious, like 2 hours into the stream, the internet cut off, so the VOD is cut in half. I do apologize for that. My internet has been quite unstable as of late, but despite that, the matches were insane. The games were beautiful, and congratulations here to Forjumy. Because of the incident that we had earlier with the internet dropping, we missed out on Mixu versus BabyMarine. That was the one game that we only got to see half of. We didn't get to see the completion of that match, unfortunately. But outside of that, we had some amazing matches here tonight, and let's quickly have a look at what's been going on. Oh boy. Let us have a look. Okay, from the top. There we go. We had 15 best of ones. We had initially Krystianer versus NightPhoenix. Again, NightPhoenix did have his debut, or did have his appearance in the beginning of the night. Krystianer was able to pop off, and we had a wild ride here where we had some big upsets. Azura took down Krystianer. I recommend the VODs. I recommend checking out the VODs here at this event because this was a wild one. Basically what happened here, TLDR, Azura went for a fake third. Azura was taking a lot of economic damage by Oracle harass, by Adept harass. Azura took a third base. Krystianer confirmed. Upon seeing that, Krystianer saturated his third, took a fourth. Meanwhile, Azura had cut workers at 30 probes. It was like 32 probes, 2 base saturation. Azura went for a big all-in and caught Krystianer with his pants down. So Azura popped off. Meanwhile, NightMare arrived. NightMare, one of the favorites for the entire tournament, brought down Azura, but it was short-lived as we had our first reigning king of the hill, Nicoract. He popped off. He brought down NightMare. He brought down Demi, MeomaikA. He brought down Moja as well. Nicoract went on a very, very nice run here with a solid win streak of 4 before going down to BabyMarine. Again, that was an intense TVT. Honestly, this could have gone either way. This was a very close TVT between these two players, and at one point it was going in the favor of Nicoract, then BabyMarine, then Nicoract again. It was crazy. It ended in a doom drop. It was just a wild fight in the middle of the map. It was on Golden Aura, ended in a doom drop into the main. Nicoract out of position. Things popped off real quick. GG. Then this is when our internet cut out. We unfortunately missed out on Mixu versus BabyMarine here in the 9th round. We saw like the first half and we weren't able to see the second, but did go the way of Mixu. Mixu was able to bring BabyMarine down in what I imagine was a spicy ZVT. I'm sure it was amazing, I'm sure it was beautiful. And then we had the back and forth. Once again, we had Iba taking down Mixu, Iba going on his own run. He brought down Mixu, Rostok, and UedSoldier. HiGhDrA came out of left field, was able to bring Iba down, and then Forjumy, the final king of the hill. Let's refresh, let's see if we can... There we go. Forjumy being the final king of the hill there. Able to bring down HiGhDrA and NightPhoenix at the end. So congratulations to Forjumy. He is our king. May his reign be long. And with that, that also means that Forjumy has the option to reprise his role as the king of the hill next week. Basically, the last standing player is invited to next week's tournament, and they can be the starting player. That is what Krystianer was. Krystianer up here, he was last week's king of the hill, but he didn't have the run he was hoping for. Likewise, Forjumy can do the same as well. Doesn't have to, but he has the option. He has the option to accept the invite and be the starting player. Jimmy was the most well-known player. Kappa. Aye. Forjumy does come out on top. And yeah, with that, I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time here tonight. Was a very fun event. Was very fun, as it always is here with OSC King of the Hill. Again, it's a very unique format, and it's not really a tournament format that we see too often anymore. Back in the day, it was Shoutcraft King of the Hill, which kind of popped off with it. And yeah, it's really cool to see OSC kind of following suit as well with their own iteration of the King of the Hill format. So much love. Shout out to Eddie, of course, for organizing, for adminning, and for allowing this event to be a reality. So big shout out to Eddie, of course, and I hope you all enjoyed yourselves in the chat. Our next broadcast is going to be in a couple of days. Our next broadcast was going to be tomorrow, but because of all these internet issues and because the stream has been dropping every day consecutively for the past week, from last week Wednesday, it's been not gonna lie, every single stream that we had, I'm so anxious. Like, I'm so distracted and I'm like holding my breath, like making sure that the stream like stays together. And yeah, the internet's been dropping every day so far. So tomorrow we're gonna be taking a day off. We're gonna be hopefully fixing the issue. We'll see what happens. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna be taking a day off, and we should be coming back on Thursday. Never mind. Sorry, I just realized what day it was. So tomorrow we're taking the morning off, but you know what tomorrow is? EWC. The Esports World Cup is tomorrow. It begins, and it's going to be running for how many days? 5 days. 5 days in a row, Esports World Cup. We have permission to co-stream, so we're going to be live here on the channel. We're going to be co-streaming. So make sure to tune into that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If the stream is unstable, then we might just bail. We'll see. we'll see what happens with the co-stream. Fingers crossed that it's okay, and fingers crossed that it all goes well. It's going to be a long cast. It's going to be a long event. Basically, we'll see how day one goes. I'm going to be co-streaming day one, and if it's fun, if we enjoy it, then we'll be back for other days. Otherwise, we might just come back for like the finals or something, or the final day even. We'll see what happens. We'll try to host basically like a viewing party of Esports World Cup. So yeah, we'll try to make that a reality. Best of luck to all the players and all the talent that are getting involved in EWC. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing event, and be sure to tune in because, again, there's a lot going on. There's a lot on the line here at EWC. It is the biggest event in the history of StarCraft, the biggest prize pool, the biggest prize money, and also will determine the future of StarCraft as well. So pretty important events, pretty important tournaments. Make sure you're a part of it. When does it start? It starts in less than 24 hours. Let me just quickly double check for you. EWC is going to be, let's find out, 18 hours. So 18 hours from right now. In 18 hours time, Esports World Cup is going to be live. So again, less than 24 hours. So make sure you mark your calendars, make sure you set your alarms for EWC. It is going to be a very long cast. It's going to be a very long event. So if you miss out on the beginning, it's going to be going all day. So so don't you worry. I'm sure you'll catch some of it. I'm sure you will catch some of it. The Australian copper scavenging Sarlacc worm has cut the lines again. Let's going hunting. That's exactly what's happening, but getting my spear, getting my boomerang. Anyone know where I can find the bracket? We got you, man. We got you. Hold on. I got you covered. There you go. Calm and olives. Clam and olives. Let's go. Is there a stream for EWC for StarCraft? It's gonna be tomorrow. And we're gonna be co-streaming here as well, of course. Gonna be co-streaming. But for now, I guess we're going to be wrapping up. So thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is streaming right now? Who can we send everyone over to? Let's find out. Who's streaming? We have ourselves as Codebar, as Protech, Mousy streaming. Let's go. Put some love to Mousy, fellow caster. We'll find someone, so stick around, give them some love, give them some support. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Esports World Cup. See you soon. Until then, thanks for watching. So there you go. You can follow us on all the social medias, !socials in the chat, and you can follow us, and you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We also stream on YouTube at the same time as Twitch, so if you enjoy VODs on YouTube instead, then VODs are uploaded on a daily basis over on our YouTube channel, so plenty of content. Likewise, you can support us on Patreon. You can see the Patreon just under NightPhoenix's name. Our Patreon goal is set up there. That is to help fund our tournaments. We do host events on a weekly basis, so Patreon is the place to be. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Esports World Cup. See you then. See you then. See you then.